This is a Fox Sports presentation. It's week 11 in the NFL, and from this point on, baby, you're either playing to win or living in sin. It's the NFL on Fox. The Pack arrives at Arrowhead looking to wrap up the Chiefs. Brett's battered battalion is still packing enough firepower to explode in the end zone. But these Chiefs smoked the Vikings, and Mighty Marcus, he continues his assault on history. Arizona's ace named Eric ain't bluffing. Swan looks to rub out some skin. But Washington just got stampeded, and Allen's anxious to settle the score. The Sky-High Falcons are ready to rock the Rams on the river. But for the Horn Boys, Brucey says, catch me if you can. The Bears head to Mile High Haven without BC, who's now history. While Denver's got it going on both sides of the ball. And Mr. Fourth Quarter, he leads the way for the NFL's top O. The Vikes and Seahawks duel in the kingdom. Minnesota's got a pair of high freak receivers who pop up the volume. But the Hawkers are coming off a shocker over the Oilers. And today's marquee matchup, the boys must battle with the Niners by the Bay. The once proud champs have to dig deep within as Troy and Emmett search for the will to win. But the Niners thrive at home because Stevie sets the stage and Jerry brings the house down. Now, live from the Fox Television Center in Hollywood, four guys who know a lot about winning and not too much about sinning. Hallelujah, baby. It's the one and only Fox NFL Sunday.
Hallelujah indeed. Week number 11 in the NFL season and a big Sunday doubleheader coming your way here on Fox. Headlined by a couple of the league's top franchises, the Niners and the Cowboys squaring off. Also today, a team on the verge of greatness. The Green Bay Packers storm into Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. And hello again, everyone. I'm James Brown, welcoming you to another great day of football right here on Fox NFL Sunday. Time now for our Fox Watch, and for that we begin in Kansas City, where the 6-3 Chiefs take on the team with the NFC's best record, the Green Bay Packers. And calling that game our own boxing guy, Dick Stockton.
All right, JB, everything's up to date in Kansas City, where it is cold and gray, and these teams have a history. They competed, as you know, in Super Bowl I in Los Angeles 30 years ago, and many prognosticators picked both the Chiefs and Packers to meet in this year's Super Bowl on Fox. It's going to be a tough game for the Packers with this crowd. The tailgaters came out early outside Arrowhead Stadium. Brett Favre, the Packer quarterback, told us when he played here 3 years ago, couldn't hear a thing in the red zone. The crowd could be a factor today. The walking wounded for the Green Bay Packers, we can report, will all start today, and that includes Don Beebe, a new father. As for the Kansas City Chiefs, this is going to be a banner day for number 32, Marcus Allen. The ageless wonder can break 3 records, one by just stepping out on the field. That one, Mosi Tutupu's mark, and 2 other records also within reach. That's the story here in Kansas City. Right now, let's send you to RFK Stadium in Washington and Tom Brenneman.
Dick, thank you very much. The 3-6 Arizona Cardinals come to RFK to battle the 7-2 Washington Redskins, and the man running this 7-2 operation, Norv Turner. Coach, you're coming off a disappointing loss last week. How was practice and the preparation for this one?
Well, we had great urgency during practice. We're back in our division. We're at home. We know how important this football game is.
A lot of teams, Coach, still say the elite teams are Green Bay. Some say Dallas, San Francisco. You guys are 7-2. Are you in that mix?
Well, I think you have to go with the teams that have been there. The 3 teams you mentioned have been in the playoffs, been in the championship game, been in the Super Bowl. Hey, we're a young team trying to establish ourselves. We are getting better. We would like to think we're in that mix. We'll find out over the next 6 weeks.
Coach, thanks for being with us, and the best of luck.
Thank you.
That's the story here in Washington. One footnote, Arizona will start quarterback Boomer Esiason today in place of Kent Graham. Let's now go to Joe Buck.
All right, here in St. Louis, a couple of struggling teams getting together. Easy to be negative about these two, but why do that? A lot of bright spots on each side. None bigger than Isaac Bruce for the St. Louis Rams. Consider what he has done his first 37 games of his NFL career. Numbers comparable only to the great Jerry Rice. One thing we know about the Rams and the Falcons, when the Falcons come to town, Isaac Bruce is ready to go. And in the wake of the recent election, here in St. Louis, they like Ike. We like Ike. We like James Brown. Back in Hollywood, JB.
Doubleheader Sunday here on Fox. The big game coming your way later. The Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers. Irvin, Rice, Sanders, and company later today. And the other games that you will see, if not that one, include Chicago and Denver, that from Colorado, or the Vikings and the Seahawks from
The Cowboys, the 49ers, two teams that collectively evoke powerful, passionate images in their ongoing struggle for supremacy. January 23rd, 1994, the NFC Championship. Steve Young's 49ers wage war on the Dallas Demons and a ghost named Joe.
Back to throw, short slant. Oh, Harper caught him. He's breaking away. 20. He's going to score. Dallas is going to win the NFC Championship again.
November 13th, 1994, the tide turns.
He got it. Jerry Rice, touchdown.
Steve Young's doing a victory lap. I've never seen him do that. I don't think I've ever seen Steve Young so excited. He was running around. He was running around the end zone. He was getting tackled. I don't think I've ever seen him act like this.
January 15th, 1995, the NFC Championship.
Intercepted by Eric Davis. And Davis will score for the 49ers. Jerry Rice coming by Brown. Touchdown. Steve Young in the shadows of Joe Montana for so many years is finally out.
And it's his day, and it's his team. And he knows it, and everyone else knows it.
The dream is reborn in the city by the bay. Last November.
Off to the races is Jerry Rice. Rice, touchdown from Gerbach. Hanks headed for the end zone. Another touchdown for San Francisco.
Today, this rich rivalry is renewed, and NFL history will be made once again.
Yeah, I'm surprised. We're watching that classic footage of those matchups. Ronnie's got a tear in his eye. Howie's got a furrowed brow look. Clearly, you guys missed playing in action like that.
This is the time when you do miss it. People ask all the time. I'm sure people ask you, people ask me. People stopped asking him a long time ago. But today is a day when you just want to play. We're always intense in here. We're always excited about getting here. But this is the kind of matchup that picks the intensity up just a notch, and it's exciting. These two teams hate each other. The two owners don't like one another. The organizations don't like one another. Everything they do in the offseason, everything they do in the draft, everything they do in terms of personnel is geared towards beating one another. Grab a hot dog, get some potato chips. John Madden, Cowboys, 49ers.
And that's what I want to do. I'm going to do that this afternoon. I'm going to grab my hot dog. But if you look at this,
will.
You know I will. But if you look at this game, right, go back to the first three games. Everybody said it's turnovers. The Cowboys, 392 yards. They were able to dominate at the beginning, but the 49ers have more yardage. The last three games, 49ers win, Cowboys has more yardage. So one of the things that you'll see in this game today, the team that has the least yardage will win, not turnovers.
Boy, Howie's turned on him already, huh?
Oh, I just hate him. He eats all those hot dogs. He doesn't grow.
Oh, yes, he does. Anyway, folks, today's game features several future Hall of Famers, including the one man who has his name sprinkled liberally throughout the NFL record books. That man, of course, is Jerry Rice. Pam Oliver joins us now from the Bay Area. And Pam, as much as the game of football means to Jerry, events in his personal life have caused him to look at things just a little bit differently.
Oh, very differently, JB, very differently. Now, many of you know that Jerry Rice is, somewhat fanatical when it comes to his approach to being the best. And as usual, he's right there near the top of all the statistical categories for receivers yet again. But if you could gauge his emotional state so easily or neatly, you may find it somewhere near the bottom. Football has a little to do with it, but there is a matter much more important pressing on Jerry's mind.
All alone, Jerry Rice, touchdown 40, number 1,000 for San Francisco's Jerry Rice. Highway 101 belongs to Jerry Rice. Next exit, Hall of Fame.
This is big time. When you get your name on your shoe and your number, well, you done made it.
Do you have a moment to enjoy all your success, all of the records, all of the...
No.
No?
You never have time to reflect on it because, you know, you're so focused in on just trying to make plays and trying to play that perfect game.
It's funny that you use the word perfect because you are the ultimate perfectionist. So how maddening is it to you as a receiver when things are less than perfect?
It's tearing me up right now. You know, we believe that we should go out there and cut teams up, and right now, that's not happening. There's a sense of urgency to get it done. You know, this week would be great against Dallas. You know, this is the ultimate challenge.
It's been a challenging year all the way around for Jerry Rice. Yes, the Niners are 7-2. Yes, he owns practically every receiving record known to man. But the offense hasn't exactly been a thing of beauty, and that irks him. Rice's overall production has slipped. He's on pace to tally just 9 touchdown receptions for the season, his lowest output in 6 years. But this year, Rice has had to fight off an enemy much more threatening than a determined defensive back. For every step he takes here, Rice has been haunted by the close call that nearly killed the woman he loves. How's Jackie?
She's getting stronger day by day, and you know, she's a fighter. You know, she's my hero, and you know, we're gonna work together, and somehow we're gonna, you know, get her back on track 100%.
When you're on the field, when you're at practice, are you totally focused 100% on football?
To be honest with you, no. You know, I'm thinking about, you know, what's going on with my wife at home, trying to deal with that, trying to deal with football, and I'm completely drained right now.
What kind of perspective does it put football in when you've got
It's no comparison. You know, family is number one. You know, you never think of a situation like this happening, you know, so close to home.
So when you look at Jada and everything your wife went through to bring this child into the world, what do you see?
Yeah, she's so precious. She's a beautiful girl. And, you know, I try to tell Jackie that, you know, this happened for a reason. But I have to stay strong for her and knowing that she's really gonna, you know, she's gonna draw off me. So it's hard, but I'm living with it and I'm dealing with it day by day.
Now, the good news is Jackie Rice has not missed a game, and of course she'll be here today cheering on her husband. She is somewhat incapacitated, though. She has to get around with a wheelchair or a walker. It was a very serious situation for the Rice family. Now, you may have heard word about a 49er team meeting called by Bill Walsh this week, and Jerry Rice was one of those people who really needed to vent after that game last week against the Saints. He said this offense has got to get into a different gear. If they were to play the Super Bowl today, they would not be ready. So, JB, you get the impression that that team meeting was productive, and we could see the benefits of that right out here today. Back to you.
We'll get a chance to take a peep at that. As a matter of fact, speaking of team meetings, they also had a meeting talking about the Dallas defense, most concerned about Leon Lett. But what about the San Francisco offense? What's happening with it?
Well, you know, when Bill Walsh went in and had the meeting with the offense, basically, he told them, look, it's not Mark Trestman. That's not his fault. You guys are wanting to blame him. It's your fault. It's the players' fault. Understand one thing. This is an offense that's not playing well. There's a reason for it. Injuries, new personnel, the triangle that this offense is built around, the tight ends have been out all year long. A new running back in the backfield, and Jerry Rice, and he needs those two players to play right, to play up above their level. That's not happening, and this offense won't function. You can't force yourself to play great. It just won't happen. And the other thing, fellas, and let's just get it on the table. This offense is getting old with these players, and as long as you're getting old, you're not going to get the results. But whoa, look what's happening. The Cowboys come to town. That's like taking a shot of Dr. Tishner's, man. That'll bring you around.
It will bring them around. I tell you this, if you look at Pete Carroll and what he's going to do, he's going to dial up a lot of blitzes. He's going to make sure that he keeps Troy Aikman off balance. Troy Aikman, as you know, if you can get him flustered, he's going to make some mistakes. So that's very important. But today, believe me, I can't wait. Punching fights, man. Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson, Jerry Rice, Deion Sanders, Marcus Pope, Michael Irvin, and the best fight of them all, Brian Young, believe me, and Larry Allen. Those two are going to have a war down there in the middle.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, they're going to flip the corners. They're going to put Drakeford on Deion. They're defying They're defying them to beat them with Deion. They're going to put Marcus Pope on Irvin, and he is going to beat up Michael Irvin. That's his job. And I'll tell you, the other thing is the pair of the two best offensive guards, Nate Newton, Larry Allen, versus the two best tackles, Young and Stubblefield. But the matchup I'm most intrigued by, if I'm Deion Sanders and I am the best cover guy in football, and I am, and I don't get in the huddle because I don't need to know it because I'm playing that cat defense where I get my cat, like Jerry Glanville said, I don't need to know what the coverage is. I want Jerry Rice every down. In motion, in the slot, I do not care where he goes. If I'm the best player in football, he's the best player in football. Let's see who's better.
Who wants it more, Ronnie? Jerry Rice or Deion?
I'm going to tell you right now, Jerry Rice, the Will, Michael Jordan's the only guy that can cover him.
Yeah. Well, when you do this, keep your eyes open, all right?
Well, keep in mind, you lose a John Taylor and a Ricky Waters, and you don't replace them. That's going to be tough. Real quickly, if Dallas loses today, is Dallas out of the playoffs?
I don't think they're out of the playoffs.
Howie?
I think they're out of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they're dead. Yeah, they're dead. They're 5-5, and if the Giants win, they'll be 5-5. Who would have thought that?
All right. And a reminder coming up later today, most of you will see Dallas taking on San Francisco. Others will see the Bears at Mile High against the Broncos. The Vikings taking on the Seahawks. As we come back inside the Fox Television Center, we start with thoughts on any of those games with Ronnie.
Well, I can tell you this. I talked to William Floyd. He expects to have a big contribution in today's game. As a matter of fact, they're going to start with him probably on the first play, using him out of the backfield.
You know, that backfield has not been the same, and that team, in my mind, has not been the same since Ricky Waters left. As Jimmy Johnson said on this show earlier in the year, you just don't lose big-time, big-play guys. You just can't find them driving down the street. This offensive line of Dallas versus the defensive line of San Francisco, to me, is a dream matchup. This is a heavyweight fight, the likes of which you haven't seen since last night. This is going to be a big fight.
That's well put, by the way.
Thank
If you're looking at Denver and Elway with the injury, don't be surprised he throws short early. Then once they come clamping, when the Bears will do, then the old slant and go like Monday night against the Raiders, they'll do that.
You've been
and
talking
for
that
those
slant
of
and go.
you watching Washington, they like those gadgets, those flea flickers. If the game gets close in the fourth quarter, watch all this fancy stuff with a lateral back to the quarterback, long touchdown pass. Clairvoyant one is back.
I think last night you were sitting
I'm not through yet,
I
Ronnie.
think last night you were sitting in bed going, slant and go.
You know,
stalwart, slant and go, stalwart, slant and go, Swan. What is up with the slant and go?
All I do is get on the internet and work. Well, you guys are playing, I'm working.
Cliff Harris. He gets angry.
These guys are wired up. All right, folks, a reminder once again, they're coming your way later today. Some big games, Dallas, San Francisco, Chicago, Denver, Minnesota, and Seattle right here on Fox. Oh, by the way, we want to say congratulations to a Fox family member, Lisa Christie, married Los Angeles Dodger Billy Ashley. Congratulations. And a salute to all of our veterans. Tomorrow is Veterans Day.
Absolutely.
For Ronnie, Howie, and Terry, we'll see you later on Fox.
Sit down. Sit down.
He's sick.
Fox, home of Super Bowl 31. This is a Fox Sports presentation.
They have dominated the football world, winning 6 of the last 8 Super Bowl titles. Dallas and San Francisco usually battle for NFC supremacy. But in 1996, the NFC picture remains uncertain. There is a sense of urgency brewing in the eyes of the Dallas Cowboys. They desperately look to rebound from last week's devastating setback. And suddenly America's team now finds themselves fighting for their playoff lives. Although atop the NFC West, the San Francisco 49ers have not been as dominant as in recent years. Even at 7-2, they too are looking for restored confidence, which could be attained today with their 4th consecutive win against the defending world champions. The setting, San Francisco, and one of football's classic showdowns awaits. From 3Com Park in San Francisco, the long-awaited match between the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers. Perfect day and good afternoon. I'm Pat Summerall here with John Madden. And John, even though these were two of the elite teams, certainly when the season began, there seems to be a sense of urgency on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, but I still think that these are the two best teams in football. Until someone proves otherwise, they're going to be. Now, you go down to Dallas, and they say that that their offense hasn't been in sync all year, and that's kind of true. Then you come here to San Francisco, and they say that they're frustrated with their offense, that they haven't been in sync. In fact, in San Francisco, they had a meeting this week with the offensive players only, along with their ex-coach Bill Walsh.
And the Cowboys at 5-4 have gotten themselves in a situation where this is almost a must-win for them. What is the situation in Dallas, in your opinion?
Well, the thing that they have to do is they have to get some consistency in their offense, and the first thing is eliminate turnovers. If you look at this series, the San Francisco 49ers have won the last 3 games between these two teams. The Cowboys have turned the ball over 12 times, and the 49ers only 1 time. So that's the first thing they have to eliminate. The other thing is Jerry Rice has given them a lot of problems, and the last time they played, it was Jerry Rice kind of against linebackers. So the Cowboys are going to play a different defense today. If you look up here, Darren Woodson, the normal strong safety, is going to play up here like a linebacker. Darren Smith, who is a normal weak linebacker, is going to move over here to the strong side linebacker to give him some speed against the running backs. George Teague will then take Darren Woodson's place as a strong safety. So in essence, what the Cowboys are doing today on defense is they're going to use 4 defensive linemen, 2 linebackers, and 5 defensive backs as their base defense.
Now the 49ers are 7-2. They have a 2-game lead in the NFC West, yet they seem dissatisfied with themselves.
Yeah, I think they're dissatisfied when they have a meeting. And they have these players on and Jerry Rice has to get the ball more. Steve Young was saying the big thing that we have to do on offense is we have to get inside the 20-yard line in that red zone. But when we get in there, we have to score touchdowns, not field goal. And he said, if we're going to beat the Cowboys today, we have to get in that 20-yard line zone, in that red zone, and score 7 points.
We've been waiting, and we're going to kick it off in just a minute. Dallas and San Francisco, and the Cowboys are ready. So are the 49ers. Both teams pumped for this one on a bright, sunshiny day at 3Com Park in San Francisco. The 49ers have won the toss, and the Cowboys will kick off. Field's in good shape. My memories of matches between these two, and I'm sure John Madden's as well, is nothing but muddy fields. Today it's going to be a fast track.
The other thing in this game, something weird usually happens right off the bat.
Bonio kicks it off. And back deep is Dexter Carter at the goal line. Special teams down in a hurry, do a good job. And Steve Young and the 49er offensive unit will take over at their own 20. Steve Young, back from the physical ailments that have bothered him. He seems to be close to 100%. This the offensive line. Harris Barton not starting at right tackle. Frank Pollock in his place. Dahlman, Sapolo, Brown, and Wallace. Bill Bates, who had his right hand in a cast before this game began, is the injured Cowboy.
Bill Bates, one of the best special teams players that's ever played in this game. You look at him, 14 years he's been doing this. An amazing guy. Never been one of the fastest guys in football or one of the biggest or strongest, but always seems to be the first guy down here. Watch right there on the 20-yard line. Number 40 right there as he's coming in. You just see, he just made the
first guy to hit the wedge.
Yeah, and he just made the hit and just went down right there. Watch, you see his head right there. You see he led with his head, and it looked like it was the contact that he made when he made that tackle. In leading with his head, it looked like he led with his head and had his head down.
It wrenched his neck, it looks like.
Yeah, there it is right there.
Bates still down. The 49ers will have the ball when we come back at their own 20.
Here he is. We'll watch that whole thing again, Pat. There's Bill Bates right there. And you're going to see him come in, and he leads with his head, and his head is down. You see, and that's where he makes the contact right there.
He and Darren Woodson hit Dexter Carter at about the same time. Bates is up.
I tell you, that's a great picture right there.
Yep. Talk about a tough guy and a great guy. Bill Bates.
We saw a tough guy and a great guy win a big fight last night, didn't we? Evander Holyfield.
Wow.
I tell you, Bill Bates and Evander Holyfield remind me a lot. Of each other. This great big old hearts.
And this game has some of the same atmosphere that was present at the heavyweight fight. Here's Young. Delayed handoff to Terry Kirby. Just a couple. The backs and receivers for the 49ers. Terry Kirby, William Floyd back at fullback. Terrell Owens, Jerry Rice, the incomparable one, and Brent Jones back at tight end. 2nd and 8.
You know, there was all the talk about whether Deion Sanders would get on Jerry Rice or play Jerry Rice or not. He is not. Deion Sanders is playing on the right side against whoever comes out on that side. 3-man Rice is in the slot.
3-man line for Dallas. William Floyd hammers for a good gain and a 49er first down. Roger Harper made the stop. Let's look at the Dallas defense. And it'll change from time to time, down to down. Harper in place of Haley, who didn't make the trip. Lett, Hennings, and Tolbert. 2 linebackers, Fred Strickland and Darren Smith. And 5 defensive backs, Sanders, Woodson, Brock Marion, Teague, and Kevin Smith.
And now Broderick Thomas is in there as a rush defensive lineman.
Young back to throw, chased by Lett. Pass is out to Jerry Rice. Rice broke 1 tackle. Couldn't get away from the rest of them, but still got positive yards.
And that's the way they're going to play Jerry Rice. You know, there was talk about maybe Deion Sanders will play him. It's not. The guy that's playing him is Darren Woodson. And you're going to see Jerry Rice is right here. Here's Darren Woodson here. He's playing a weak side linebacker position. So instead of having a linebacker on him now, they got a strong safety in Darren Woodson. Darren Woodson has pretty good coverage, but misses the tackle.
Out to knock him out of bounds, Teague. 2nd and 6. Rice got 4, but he could have lost yardage. Here's Steve Young to William Floyd, and Floyd gets close to the 40. Picked up about 4. Brock Marion made the stop. Harris Barton, as I mentioned, not starting. Pollock in his place.
Yeah, we talked to Harris Barton yesterday, and they had the 49ers had a light workout and down in Santa Clara, and Harris Barton was there, practiced with the team yesterday. I talked to him after practice, and he said he was going to start, and then this morning they told us he was deactivated.
3rd and 1. Young. He'll get the first down. He always is very aware of where those sticks are, where the markers are for the first down. The word, by the way, John, on Bill Bates is that he got a concussion on that opening kickoff and will not return. We will see.
You talk about concussions. Remember, it was just a few weeks ago that Steve Young had a concussion.
Yep.
He said he played last week against the New Orleans Saints and was still a little fuzzy. He said this week he's feeling better than he has for the last month and a half.
Rice comes in motion. Young gives to Terry Kirby, who doesn't make it back to the line of scrimmage. And right now, for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
Pat, this is what it looked like as Philly was trying to tie it up against Buffalo with 32 seconds left on 4th down. Bruce Smith, money sack, 5th sack of the day for Buffalo, and Buffalo upends the Eagles by 7. Back to San Fran, Pat and John.
And that game, certainly, that Buffalo victory over Philadelphia, tightens things up at the NFC East. Young back to throw. screen pass call, and it was a perfect time to call it. Floyd slipped down as he got the first down yardage and moved into Dallas territory.
Well, he had his big right guard, Chris Dahlman, number 67, out in front. Chris Dahlman makes a real good block on the screen. You're going to watch Chris Dahlman is right here. Floyd's going to get the screen pass. You see, you let the rush come, and then here's William Floyd here. He sets it up, waits, gets behind here. Now watch 67. He's pointing, and then whap, he takes his guy down right there. And just as he blocked his guy, Brock Marion, William Floyd fell down himself.
Anthony Lynn has replaced William Floyd. And Young is back to throw. Going deep. Incomplete. Jerry Rice, the intended receiver, broken up by Deion Sanders. Like to welcome those of you who watched St. Louis destroy Atlanta to 3Com Park in San Francisco, where there is no score. The 49ers got the opening kickoff. They still have the ball. Now they've moved it into Dallas territory. 2nd and 10. Young to William Floyd. Floyd near another 49er first down. Stopped by Brock Marion.
Yeah, we talked earlier, Pat, how the 49ers had an offensive-only meeting this week, and it seems to work because they're having a great first drive here. When they're getting different guys running here, they just get good blocking. In fact, they knocked all the Cowboys down. And the only guy left out there is William Floyd, but just watch him. First of all, they get a block here. Brent Jones knocks his guy down. They get another knockdown there. They knock down all the Cowboys except Brock Marion.
They got Tolbert down. Brent Jones got a good block. 10th play of this drive coming up. That's Jones on the move. Young. Pass complete to Terrell Owens, the rookie wide receiver. Big wide receiver.
Yeah, I think he's really going to be a good one. I mean, he's like 6'2" and 215 pounds, has the size of a Jerry Rice. And I remember when we went up to training camp, remember this year we did a preseason game with the 49ers, and I was looking at this guy, Terrell Owens, and I said, geez, he reminds me of Jerry Rice. I mean, he looks like the real thing. And I thought, and I said at that time, this guy's going to be a starter over J.J. Stokes one of these days.
We were asking that day, who is this guy?
Well, you could tell the way he ran Patterson caught that he's going to be the real thing.
Young to Jerry Rice. Knocked out of bounds by Kevin Smith. Rice has caught passes now in 169 straight games.
And here's Jerry Rice right here on Kevin Smith. You see, now they did flip-flop their corners. They brought Kevin Smith over to cover Jerry Rice in the slot, but he just couldn't do it.
He doesn't like it over there.
I don't think that there's anyone, though, that can cover Jerry Rice man on man. I think if you get in that matchup, Jerry Rice is going to win it 9 out of 10 times.
That's another 49er first down.
The other thing, the 49ers on this drive are getting good pass protection. Now they're inside the 20, the area we were talking about.
Young is 4 out of 5. He gives to William Floyd. They block it well, and again, Floyd puts his head down and hammers down to the 11. Stopped by Woodson. Red zone offense.
Yeah, this is the red zone is inside the 20. And if you look at this season, they're 21st in the NFL, only 39.5. Last season, they were 56.7, and they were 3rd in the NFL. And, you know, generally, the 49er offense has not really been hitting on all cylinders. Specifically, it's in this area where they're having trouble.
That could be hit quickly by Hennings. Maybe he got a yard.
You know, and one of the reasons that they've been having trouble here is they've really played. Steve Young has played to start a quarterback and been hurt. Then Elvis Gerbach had played and he's been hurt. Jeff Brom has started a quarterback. And inside the red zone, their best runner, I've always felt for the last 5 years, is Steve Young. And when he had that groin injury, you know, they took away that threat.
That seems to be a lot better. This is the 14th play of this drive now. Young, if he's trapped, he'll take off. This one is batted down by Leon Lett. And this is what the 49ers talked about not doing, having to settle for 3, but 3 is better than nothing.
That's what Steve Young said. He said, this is a frustrating thing. He said, we can move the ball up and down the field. We can get down there, but we just can't get the ball in the end zone for touchdowns. And he said, and we don't want to settle for 3s today.
Jeff Wilkins will try from 28 yards. Elvis Gerbach holding. Wilkins. And the 49ers take the opening kickoff, drive the length of the field, get 3 points. And that, as surprisingly as it sounds, is not what they were looking for.
Yeah, but the Cowboys really didn't control Jerry Rice either, and I think that's what they were looking for on defense. They tried different ways. We know they're playing 5 defensive backs. Darren Woodson was on him, and he beat Darren Woodson. Darren Woodson missed a tackle. And then they brought Kevin Smith over. He was on him. Jerry Rice beat him. So they're mixing it up on defense, but I don't know that they have yet to come up with the answer.
49ers, by the way, have now scored in 300 straight games. Look at the turnovers. In the last 3 games, Dallas turned it over 12 times. San Francisco once. In the previous 3, all won by the Cowboys. It was 1 Cowboy turnover, 7 for the 49ers. So that's been pretty much, if you're looking for a secret, a reason, whatever you're looking for, that's it. Turnovers.
Yeah, that's been, and I think anytime you get 2 teams that are well matched or closely matched, that's going to be true. That a turnover against or with is going to turn it around.
And the Cowboys have, of course, this 10th game jinx.
Yeah, what is that all about anyway? They've lost the 10th game of the season for 10 straight years, and this is the 10th game of the Cowboys season.
Right.
Where'd that one come from? Woo.
Some statistic enthusiast came up with that one. That's Herschel Walker. Walker tries to get out of the grasp. Gets up to about the 23 where the Cowboys will take over. Frankie Smith brought him down. The Cowboy offense led by number 8, Troy Aikman. In front of him, that veteran offensive line, 2-A, Newton, Donaldson, Allen, and Williams. Emmitt Smith and Darrell Johnston, the 2 runners. Deion Sanders and Michael Irvin wide, and Eric Bjornson will start at tight end. They're not sure how long he can last.
Well, Barry Switzer was saying last night that he just hopes to get 1/2 out of Bjornson.
Darrell Johnston split wide to the left. Now he starts in motion. And Aikman back to throw it. Incomplete. Michael Irvin, the intended receiver. I think he slipped. Let's look at the 49er defense. The front 4, they're all playing well. Dolman and Barker, the defensive ends. Stubblefield and Young inside. Plummer, Norton, and Lee Woodall, the Holyfield look-alike. Marquez Pope, Tyrone Drakeford, the cornerbacks. Hanks and McDonald, the 2 safeties. This is a good, solid defensive unit.
And the strength of it are those 2 defensive tackles. And the Cowboys have always had trouble with those 2 guys.
Bjornson limps in motion. Eric Williams, I think, jumped early.
I think Eric Williams did jump because Roy Barker across from him just put his hand on Williams' head when he moved to touch him to make sure the official saw it.
Ball start.
Hand
Prior
tag.
to the snap. Offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Eric Williams.
And there's Eric Williams there, and watch as he moves here. You see, he moves right there, and then Roy Barker comes across and touches him just to make sure the official saw that Eric Williams moved. Eric Williams has a problem with that.
2nd and 15. He certainly has in recent weeks. Aikman to Emmitt Smith. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. To make it 3rd and 15, and on the far side of the field, a wrestling match breaks out, and a flag comes down.
That has to be out there, where Drakeford was. Drakeford's out there man-to-man on Michael Irvin, and again, the ball was run away from him. And they're calling it on Drakeford right there. You see, that's one of those battles that I'm not going to be intimidated. You're not going to intimidate me. You know, the word is you got to be physical on Michael Irvin because he's going to be physical. and they were both doing that, but they called it on Tyrone Drakeford.
Had each other by the face cage.
In fact, I don't think they did call it on Drakeford. I think they called it on Michael Irvin.
Called it on both of them. So it's third down. Third and 15. Here's Aikman back to throw it. Has time and goes deep. Incomplete. Michael Irvin slipped down in front of Drakeford. Steve Israel, I beg your pardon, was out covering Irvin that time. Yeah, I said it was a fast track when we began, but it looks like as they dig in, a lot of people are slipping.
Yeah, it's always going to be wet out here. You know, no matter how it looks or how it feels before the game, it's always going to be wet. The 49ers then were in nickel, so a nickel, Drakeford comes in and takes the slot, and Steve Israel comes in and plays the outside guy. And the first thing Michael Irvin's going to go over there to do is change those cleats and get some longer cleats.
John Jett back to punt it. Dexter Carter deep for the 49ers. Dexter Carter slips past Swans, but Swans hangs on. Boy, what a job he's done on special teams. 54-yard punt, 5-yard return. Good coverage by Jim Swans.
Yeah, this is the first adjustment you make when you slip, is your cleats are too short. So what they can do is they can take off those short cleats and put on a longer cleat. And then you keep putting on longer and longer cleats until you don't slip anymore. But that's one of the reasons that I always like to go in the day before the game, practice at the field where we were going to play so that the guys could get all that done on Saturday and not have to do it during the game.
It's like a pit stop in a race. Changing treads. First and 10 San Francisco. Rice was the man in motion. This is Terry Kirby. Kirby around the corner, knocked out of bounds after he picked up about 6 by George Teague. The 49ers are doing a good job blocking for the run.
Yeah, and they're doing a good job getting to the outside, because I think one thing, anytime you see 5 defensive backs, the first thing you want to do is check to see if they can stop the run. Now, here's what they're doing. See, they're getting Tolbert blocked there. The strong side linebacker there that got caught up in the wash was Darren Woodson. So the first thing when you see nickel as a base defense is run at it to see if the nickel can stop the run.
2 tight ends, second and short. William Floyd will have the first down and more. Floyd surges outside the 45, stopped again by George Teague, who's making a lot of tackles.
And what they're doing is they're taking advantage of Darren Woodson. Darren Woodson is playing that weak side linebacker, so they're going to run right at him. He's number 28, so they're running right at him, and you'll see him here, number 28. They just catch him up in things, and Floyd just goes right to the outside, and Teague, the safety, has to come up to make the play.
Woodson goes out. Terry Kirby is split wide to the left up the top of the picture. Young back to throw it. Strickland comes. Here's Young who pulled it down. Pump fake. That was a real pump fake. Now Steve Young throws it back across the field. Pass complete to Terry Kirby. Incomplete.
I'll tell you, Brock Marion had great coverage on Jerry Rice, because that first pump, he was trying to throw down the right side to Jerry Rice, and Brock Marion was right there with him. If he would have thrown that, it probably would have been an interception.
Steve Young bothered by a groin injury throughout the first part of the season, then the concussion that you talked about. But today he seems to be pretty mobile. Jerry Rice over on the sideline. Brent Jones flank left, 2 tight ends set up. Kirby the ball carrier. Right now again, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
Pat, this was a last gasp effort on the part of the Cardinals. Boomer looking, connects with Anthony Edwards to tie it up in Washington with 25 seconds left. Washington looking to get it back. Back to Pat and John.
A lot of things fit in that category of who would have thought this weekend. 4 minutes, 35 seconds left to play in the first quarter as Young fades to throw it. Iwazoki. Was it complete? Not complete.
It was complete.
Yes, it was.
First down. It was a first down. He's a big wide receiver. And again, he's just going to get to the inside. He comes up here, right in here, and Steve Young is going to hit him right there in the slot. You see, you get one-on-one, then you get that inside. Right now, you got the movement. All you have to do is put the ball down where only your guy can catch it.
I was so proud of myself for pronouncing his name. I wasn't sure he caught it.
No, he caught it for a first down.
The pass caught by Jerry Rice. I can pronounce that name.
Well, you know, we've seen Jerry Rice line up in the left. We've seen him line up in the slot. Now he's down here on the right, and he's playing against Kevin Smith. Again, he starts to the inside, gets Kevin Smith turned that way, gets his shoulders turned that way. Then once those shoulders turn, Jerry Rice goes right to the outside, and Steve Young hits him with a perfect pass.
That's a good pattern run by Jerry Rice.
But he waited until he got Kevin Smith's shoulders turned, then he made his out move.
1st and 10, San Francisco. Dallas, no yards. The 49ers, 110. Going good, touchdown. Iwazoki from Steve Young. Iwazoki, whatever, it's a touchdown.
It was Iwazoki, but he was on Kevin Smith again, and Steve Young throws him a post. Here's Iwazoki right here. Here's Kevin Smith playing a man-to-man. Kevin Smith falls down right there. See him? He falls down right there just as the ball is thrown, and Steve Young makes a perfect pass.
The extra point is good by Wilkins. It's 10-0, 49ers.
The 49ers had that meeting on Monday, the offense with Bill Walsh, Mark Trestman, puts in the offensive game plan. He's the offensive coordinator, and he has a good one today. Maximum protection. You see that? They keep both backs in the block. Iwazoki runs a post. Kevin Smith, one of their best cover guys, one of the best cover guys in the league, is on a man-to-man, falls down just before the ball gets there.
Iwazoki's first NFL touchdown.
And here's Mark Trestman there, the offensive coordinator of the 49ers, and there's been a lot of talk about him and what his problems were. And here's Bill Walsh, of course, the ex-coach of the 49ers, who was in that players-only meeting.
Yep,
and
the only coach, the consultant.
And he thought that some good came out of it. Steve Young said, I don't know, we're going to get more detail, but as Steve Young said yesterday, how more is more. Whatever it is, it's 10-0.
And a very concerned Barry Switzer. He has never beaten San Francisco.
And I think that in this chess match, he's losing. I mean, the Cowboys had a simple defense for years, and everyone kind of knew what to do against it. So this year, they don't have a simple defense. They're showing a 4-man line, 3-man line, 3 linebackers, 2 linebackers, 5 defensive backs. And whatever they put in there, the 49ers are cutting up today.
Short kick is going to be handled by Walker at about the 15. Last couple of weeks, he's broken some long kickoff returns, but it's not there today. Junior Bryant, the first man down.
And now I think the Cowboys have to get something going. And it was interesting yesterday when we were talking to Barry Switzer. He said that he knows that to beat the 49ers, he needs big plays. And he said you don't get big plays in the running game. He said you get big plays in the passing game. He said, so I told Ernie Zampese, this is Barry Switzer's man, he said, I told Ernie Zampese, throw the ball. I don't care if we throw it 50 times, but the only way we can get big plays is throwing it.
Aikman to throw. Has time, gets it out to Emmitt Smith, and there's nothing there. The 49ers played it well. That was even a lateral. Ken Norton was the first there, the former Cowboy.
Well, he's trying to get the ball. He was trying to get the ball deep to Michael Irvin, and there was good coverage on Michael Irvin. Marquez Pope was with him, and then Merton Hanks came over, so they had him doubled. Then when he couldn't go there, then he had to come off that and he went to his outlet valve in Emmitt Smith.
Lost yardage on that outlet valve pass. 2nd and 15. Bjornsson, the man in motion. Aikman to Emmitt Smith. Smith gets 3. Dolman made the stop.
There's a guy who's playing well for the 49ers, Chris Dolman. He gives them, they were flip-flopping their ends. They were playing, having him play weak side the whole time, and then Barker would play strong side. So they'd have to go right and left. And then he had a meeting with George Seifert, and he said that what he'd like to do is just stay over here on the right like he is here at that position and let Barker play left. And since then, they have both been NFC Defensive Player of the Week.
Dolman went through 2 blockers. Flag on the play. Aikman to throw it. Pulls it down, throws out of bounds. Intended for Deion Sanders.
I tell you, Aikman doesn't feel comfortable with this defense. I mean, he doesn't like what is here. He hasn't seen anything he likes yet.
Dick hand tack.
Defense in the neutral zone at the snap. Number 97, 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
The 49ers took the opening kickoff. Got a field goal. Held the Cowboys. The Cowboys could do nothing. The 49ers scored. A touchdown pass from Young to Uwazaki. Here's Aikman back to throw. I'd like to welcome those of you who are watching Green Bay and Kansas City. Kansas City beating Green Bay 27-20. Welcome to 3Com Park in San Francisco, where the 49ers lead the Cowboys 10-0. And the Cowboys go 3 and out one more time.
And the Cowboys are starting to look frustrated. I mean, they're not even off the field yet. They're just walking around out here. In the pregame warm-up, they looked like that. You said I don't know who's going to win this game, but the 49ers look a lot more ready to play than the Cowboys do from up here, and they still do.
Good kick by John Jett. Chases Dexter Carter down to the 10. Carter's got some room, and he could be gone. John Jett hemmed him up on the sideline. Herschel Walker came over to help out, and they finally got him down at the Dallas 40. 54-yard punt, 52-yard return. That's not good.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. With fares so low, you have the freedom to go places. By Nissan, who reminds you that life is a journey. Enjoy the ride. And by HBO. It's not TV, it's HBO.
The 49ers 10, Dallas nothing at 3Com Park. A beautiful, beautiful day.
You know, the interesting thing, Pat, the 49ers have had the ball 21 plays, 139 yards. The Cowboys have had 6 plays, and they have no yards.
Young back to throw it. Under pressure and throws it in the direction of Derek Lavelle. Looked like they were trying to set up a screen pass, but even the screen didn't form.
They all fell down.
Yeah.
I mean, they had the screen up there, and everyone fell down. Like that game you used to play as a kid, you know, you'd run and all fall down. They just all ran out there, and they all fell down.
I had forgotten about that game.
Yeah. I mean, you stand up, sit down, or something like that, and then all fall down.
What's wrong, Lord?
2nd and 10. Young gets to William Floyd, who makes it back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all.
See what they're doing is they're really spreading them out. You see, they have the 4 wide receivers, so then this is all you have in a box. Now, the rule has always been, if in this box, if you have 5 guys you run, if you have 6 guys you pass, and if you can see, the Cowboys have 6 guys in that box. The 49ers ran, and that's why the run didn't work.
38.
And that's the end of the first quarter. The 49ers in control so far. They lead the Cowboys 10-0. We're at 3Com Park in San Francisco as you look at the first quarter statistics, and couldn't be much more one-sided than that.
You know, the 49ers have had the ball the whole first quarter to the Cowboys 3 minutes, so you can see that. But not only that, as Steve Young was saying yesterday, they've done something with it. I mean, they put up 10 points with that time of possession.
Young chased and down, lost the ball. And the Cowboys think they have it. At least their bench does. Shante Carver pointing in that direction. And they do. Young's fumble. He was hit by Leon Lett. Leon Lett came up with the recovery as well. And the Cowboy offensive unit comes on in the best shape they've been so far, trailing 10-0.
Here's the pass rush. The Cowboys are in a three-man line. 1, 2, 3. Plus they have Broderick Thomas here. Broderick Thomas comes on the rush, and he's the guy that gets the sack. He's the guy that gets the sack and causes the fumble. Watch him, 51. He comes in there. Boom. He knocks that ball out of Steve Young's hand right there, and Leon Lett recovers it.
So the Cowboys take over. 1st and 10 at their own 41. 49ers leading 10-0. Emmitt Smith. Not much room. The surge took him for about 3.
Yeah, this is really like a four-man line, because Broderick Thomas today is going to be used as a pass rusher, not a linebacker. That time he was the pass rusher, the first guy to get to Steve Young, knocked the ball out of there. Then, as you see, big Leon Lett recovered it.
2nd down. About 7. Aikman to Emmitt Smith, who breaks one tackle and gets into the 49ers secondary for a moment. A pickup of about 5 right now for a McDonald's game break. Let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
At the Cardinals with a chance to upset the Redskins. Kevin Butler, 32-yard field goal in OT. Off to the left. Kevin Butler said he had only been practicing field goals every now and then. Boy, that showed right there. Back to Pat and John.
Offense, number 73.
Here at 3Com Park, it's 10-0.
2nd down.
Larry Allen call for holding, and it pushes the Cowboys back 10.
Well, Larry Allen has his hands full today. He's playing against Bryant Young. Larry Allen is one of the best guards in the league. Bryant Young, number 97 of the 49ers, is one of the best tackles in the league. And what Bryant Young does is he'll use those sideways. I mean, he'll line up cockeyed. He'll hit a gap sideways. He'll do all those things to you. And sometimes he gets in a position you darn near have to hold him.
He just slides right by you if you don't.
And that's what he started to do on that last play.
Aikman. 49ers blitzed. He hits Bjornsson. Only picked up about 4 yards.
And I think that's the problem with this Cowboy offense. And Barry Switzer can say we got to pass it 50 yards, but you got to get it down the field. And I think you can't be throwing those short ones out there to Bjornsson. I don't think you can be throwing passes for losses to Emmitt Smith. I don't think you can be throwing to Moose Johnston. I think eventually you're going to have to get the ball to your wide receivers, and they haven't been able to do that.
Deion Sanders goes wide left. Michael Irvin comes wide right. Kelvin Martin in the slot to the right. Flags on the play. I think Eric Williams again moved backward too soon.
And Chris Dolman ran right by Mark Tuanay.
Prior to the snap, offense, number 79, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Tell you, that has to be killing a coach. Here's again Eric Williams. Again, he's not in the three-point stance. He's all ready to pass protect, but just see him. He starts to lean back. Roy Barker starts pointing to him again, and I don't know. Roy Barker's not a real speed guy or a real fast guy. I don't know that Eric Williams has to get that big a jump on him as he has in his mind that he has to do.
3rd and 17. Aikman to Darrell Johnston. That won't get it done. They picked up about 4 yards maybe, and they'll have to punt again.
And that's the thing. When you have 2 penalties, they had with Larry Allen, gets a holding penalty, that's 10 yards. Then Eric Williams jumps offside, that's 15 yards of penalty. And you don't have pass plays that are going to make that up.
Well, Troy Aikman said yesterday, I have to be patient. I have to be patient, not panic, not try to go deep. If we get down, if we get behind, it's pretty tough to do that.
Well, he hasn't completed a pass to a wide receiver today.
Jets kick comes off the side of his foot. Dexter Carter comes up and fields it at the 21. And this time the coverage is there in a hurry. Randall Godfrey down to make the hit. 42-yard punt, 1 return.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper is just what the doctor ordered.
First and 10, San Francisco at their own 21. Steve Young puts Rice in motion. Gives to Dexter Carter. Carter is taken down for a loss of a yard by Brock Marion with an assist from Chad Hennings. Dallas has run 9 plays. The 49ers 24. And look at that time of possession.
And like I said, just before the 49ers fumbled, you know, they've done some. You know, time of possession is one of those stats that if you don't do something with it, it doesn't mean anything. But the 49ers have the time of possession, and to show for it, they have 10 points.
And they have 1 turnover.
And probably if they didn't have that turnover, they would have had some more points.
Second and about 11. Rice to the right. Young looking left, hit from behind, and hit hard. Broderick Thomas, I believe.
Yeah, Broderick Thomas, you know, I said earlier, is not playing linebacker today. He's playing defensive end. Right and left defensive end. That time he's a left defensive end. He's in there for Tony Tolbert. And you're going to see him. He's at the left defensive end. He's right here. Here's Pollock, who has to block him there. You see Frank Pollock comes back. Broderick Thomas, he tries to cut him. Broderick Thomas just goes right around him. Steve Young didn't see him. And as he turned into him, there was Broderick Thomas. Watch, he turns in and boom, he's right there in his head. Oof.
Steve Young a little shaky getting up.
I don't know about that. I don't know if Steve Young is a little fuzzy again.
He's back to throw. Cowboys chasing, and down he goes. Leon Lett and Broderick Thomas converge.
And I don't know that Steve Young didn't get hurt again, because they got him right in the head 2 times in a row. We talked about that earlier, where 2 weeks ago he had a concussion. He said he was still fuzzy last week against the New Orleans Saints, but yesterday he said he felt fine and he thought he was over the hump of both the concussion and the groin pull.
Thompson back to punt. Kelvin Martin will field it for the Cowboys at about the 23-yard line. Cuts it back. Gets to the 40. Derek LaVille down to make the stop.
Broderick Thomas again, and watch his hit right there. Woo!
Jim Schwantz. Park in San Francisco. Steve Young shaken by 2 hits on the last 49er possession. Dallas ball at their own 40, 1st and 10. Aikman gives to Emmitt Smith, and there is nothing there.
Well, there's been nothing there the whole time. The Cowboys haven't made a yard rushing yet. And again, it's those 2 tackles. They're not getting them blocked. I mean, it's Stubblefield and it's Young, and if you're going to block them, if you're going to run the ball, you got to block those 2 tackles.
Not many people have been able to do that. Those 2 guys are tough and dedicated to being the best. 2nd and 10. Bjornsson on the move. Aikman a throw. Michael Irvin makes the catch, and Irvin steps out of bounds. The first time the Cowboys have been across the 50-yard line.
And it's the first time the Cowboys have thrown the ball or hit to a wide receiver. You see, again, if you're going to run, you got to get these 2 guys blocked. And if you're going to throw the ball, you got to get them blocked so you can step up. And they do a pretty good job right there. You see, and they let Troy Aikman have clean feet. Here's Michael Irvin down here on Tyrone Drakeford. He just makes an out pattern. Drakeford slips that time on his home field.
1st and 10 Cowboys.
And see, and Michael Irvin has those longer cleats now.
Right. Aikman a throw, pumps right, throws left. Deion Sanders couldn't come down with it. Had it and lost it. Marquez Pope was the cover man.
Marquez Pope says there's only one way to play this game, and that's to be physical. It doesn't make any difference who the guy is. He said he just wants to attack him. He didn't attack Deion that time. He let him off the line of scrimmage and just ran with him to the outside and waited out there for Deion Sanders to come back, and then jumped up and got that right hand in there and knocked the ball out.
That's a good play.
Marquez Pope was a safety. He was a safety in college and a safety in the pros. He became a corner here, and he made himself a very good corner.
Emmitt Smith gets the carry and gets nothing. Right now, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
Pat, a strange one in Washington. Scott Blanton attempting a 38-yard field goal in overtime. This one he nails, rest indeed, but Scott Galbraith called for holding, move back. It's a 48-yarder by Blanton. He misses it to the left. We're still in OT, less than 3:20 left. Arizona with the ball. Back to Pat and John.
At 3Com Park, 3rd and 10 Dallas. 49ers leading 10-0. Aikman, incomplete. No flags. Deion Sanders saying, I was held, and it looks like he might have an argument.
Usually on a cross, that's where you can use your speed. It was a Deion Sanders against Tyrone Drakeford. Drakeford was running with him, and you see him on a cross. This is where you can use your speed. And you see the speed to cross right down here in the bottom of the picture. I don't know that Drakeford did hold him. It looked like he made a pretty good play.
Yes, it did after you look at it again.
But Deion should have just kept running on that. Once you get man-to-man, you have to run away from man-to-man. You have to come under control against a zone.
Jet back to punt it. Dexter Carter's going to let it bounce. And the Cowboys, it's a touchback. They were standing. Charlie Williams had 1 foot in, 1 foot out. He could have been at the 1 foot line.
Yeah, but he had his left foot on the inside the end zone.
He was straddled the end zone line.
Yeah, watch Charlie Williams. They just activated him today. Now watch where his foot is. You see when he catches a ball, watch that left foot there. The left foot is in the end zone. So he's proud of himself for keeping the ball out, but his foot's in the end zone. So the 49ers, instead of getting the ball.
With possession of the ball, touchback. 1st and 10 on the 20-yard line.
I was just going to say, instead of getting the ball at the 1-yard line, the 49ers get it at the 20.
With a little bit of room, they lead Dallas 10-0.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Oldsmobile and your local Oldsmobile retailers. By Brewery Fresh Budweiser, who reminds you fresh beer tastes better. And by 7-Eleven. Oh, thank heaven for 7-Eleven.
The MetLife blimp Snoopy 2 has teamed up with Fox to provide an aerial view of San Francisco. MetLife blimp does not require a home base. It's constantly on the road, logging over 60,000 miles a year. Casillas had Steve Young, got away from him, and Darren Woodson.
The last 3 times that Steve Young has gone back to pass, he hasn't passed the ball, and he's taken a pretty good hit. The first one's going to be Casillas is going to come through there and get him there, and then as he gets out there, he's going to get it right there by Darren Woodson.
And Shante Carver. And again, Steve Young got back to his feet in kind of a shaky way.
Now you can see he's been sacked twice already. He's been hit 8 times.
Young gives to William Floyd, and Floyd trips and slips and falls down after a gain of 1. Tony Casillas again to make the play.
This field is just like it used to be in Oakland. We're right here at sea level. If you look right outside of the stadium is is a water, so it's at sea level. So this field is always going to be wet, and it's going to be heavy, and it's going to be loose. See, because if you see, here's the water right here, and here's the stadium right here, and somehow this water comes underneath and gets in there to the stadium. And then the guys trip and fall. Both teams do, and they always have to, change the cleats and get longer cleats. But it's always going to be that way. Always has been that way here.
Here's Young to throw it. Incomplete. No flag. Intended for Jerry Rice. Kevin Smith right with him. And the 49ers will have to punt again.
The 49ers really got off to a good start on offense. They were getting the ball to Jerry Rice. They had the running game going. And then it looked like they had this Cowboy defense off balance. Now it looks like the opposite, that the Cowboy defense has kind of figured out what the 49ers are doing, and the 49ers aren't able to do what they're doing.
Deion Sanders back deep to return Tommy Thompson's punt.
That's how you tell if it's a big game. When Deion Sanders is a punt returner, it's a big game in Barry Switzer's mind.
Deion Sanders knocked down after he got back where he started. Out flies the ball. He just couldn't get anything started. You're so right. When he's back, you know it's big. He and Darryl Green.
Deion Sanders has two helmets, one for defense and punt returning. See, the defense is over, the punt return's over. He throws that one off, and now he gets his offensive helmet. So he has one helmet that he wears for defense, one helmet that he wears for offense. But if he punt returns, it's interesting, he uses his defensive helmet.
He goes wide to the left this time. Irvin comes right. 1st and 10, Dallas at their own 28. Aikman will throw it on 1st down. Bjornsson makes the reception. Gets a 1st down for the Cowboys.
We were talking about the two helmets. You see the offensive helmet, it doesn't have the bar. You see, here's the offensive helmet, and it's clear here. The defensive helmet has these two extra bars there. See, because he doesn't want those so that he can see out, to catch a ball. See, so defense, if you're looking out like this is what it looks like. And you see the bar. Offense, you see this opening here, and that's where you look to catch passes. So you got your basic defensive helmet, and that's the one that he's had all the way. I mean, he had that in Atlanta. It's the same helmet he had with the 49ers, and he brought here to Dallas. The offensive helmet is a new helmet.
The completion from Aikman to Bjornsson was close enough for them to measure. I thought he had the 1st down, and he does.
Yeah, I still think that Steve Young didn't recover from those hits, Pat, and the doctor's there with him, and we see Elvis Gerbach is here warming up. And I don't think it was that last one. I think it was a series before when he got those 2 hits in a row.
2 series ago. Right. Steve Young with a towel around his head. Elvis Gerbach with a baseball cap on. So we'll have to wait and see.
And again, a concussion is something you don't fool around with, and he just had one 2 weeks ago.
Emmitt Smith breaks into the 49ers secondary. That's the most successful running play so far. 6-yard pickup stopped by Tim McDonald.
Yeah, we were talking about those hits on Steve Young, and here they were. That was the first one. That was Broderick Thomas.
That's the one that did the damage.
And then you look at that second one by Schwantz, and then this was the third one, which was in the next series. But I think it was those first 2, the Broderick Thomas and the Schwantz one, that really got him.
2nd down, Emmitt Smith again. Emmitt gets close to a 1st down. Right now, let's return again to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
Pat, that strange one in Washington. Take a look at this. 37-yard field goal attempt, overtime by Kevin Butler. What does he do? He misses that one. Offsides on Washington. He gets a chance again, this time from the 32. Finally nails it. Arizona upends Washington by a field goal in OT. Pat and John.
So Arizona wins over Washington, and Buffalo beats Philadelphia. So if the Cowboys can win today, they're back in the NFC East race. Here's Aikman back to throw. Aikman going deep. And Herschel Walker bounce off his chest.
You see who was with him there? Kenny Norton.
Flag on the play. Back.
That's going to be against the Cowboys anyway, but it was still great coverage by Ken Norton. They were trying to get that matchup, you know, the old matchup, Herschel Walker, the speed guy on a linebacker. They got it, but Kenny Norton rose to the occasion.
Kenny Norton can run.
Offense, number 61, 10-yard penalty.
Holding
Repeat
call
the down,
against
first
Nate
down.
Newton.
Watch him, here they are. There's Ken Norton, number 51, running with Herschel Walker, and he just waited. And what a guy does is he'll look in the receiver's eyes. And when the receiver looks up, he looks up. And the receiver looks down to bring the ball in is when he slaps with that hand in there.
First and 20. Eggman a throw. His protection has gotten better. He gets it to Michael Irvin. And we'd like to welcome those of you who watched Arizona finally defeat Washington 37-34. Welcome to 3Com Park. Philadelphia lost. Washington lost. Dallas is 5-4. They're losing 10-0 here at 3Com Park. 2nd and 18. Dallas has the ball. The 49ers scored the first time they got the ball. They got down, got a field goal.
You know, I think sometimes you look at this league right now and you say, who's the best team in the NFL? And you say, no one.
It's pretty close. Johnson. Back to the original line of scrimmage. Midfield stopped by Lee Woodall. Next Sunday on Fox, the Redskins and the Eagles will be there in Philadelphia. Bears, Chiefs, Panthers, Rams, Saints, Falcons.
And that Ty Detmer there last week, we saw him against the Dallas Cowboys. He played a great game. You know, the way Steve Young looks right now, I would, you know, again, not know, but I don't think he's going to be in on the next series, and I would say he has a concussion.
Slight concussion is the word I just got, John.
I don't know why they put slight in front of it all the time, but it's a concussion's a concussion.
Probably he won't be back. Eggman. Irvin. First down. Marquez Pope, the cover man. Gerbach has taken off the baseball hat, put on the helmet.
And here's Michael Irvin out there, and you can see that there's a little confusion there because they're looking back, they're talking, they're not ready when the ball was snapped. Marquez Pope is off, he gets turned around, and Troy Aikman puts the ball in a perfect location for Michael Irvin.
They move inside the 49er 40-yard line. First down, Cowboys at the San Francisco 39. 10-0, 49ers. Emmitt Smith. Run. Smith around the corner. Run out of bounds by Tim McDonald at the 25. Another first down, Dallas.
Well, they finally got away from those defensive tackles. They got them blocked inside. Emmitt Smith started inside and then bounced outside. Now, when you go inside, you have to look out for those two tackles that we talked about. You have to look out for these guys. Then when you bounce to the outside, then you have to look out for McDonald. You see right here, now when you bounce outside here, you get that inside blocked. You got all those guys blocked. Now you better look out for number 46, Tim McDonald. And that's exactly what Emmitt Smith did. And when he saw him, he ran out of bounds.
Larry Allen got a heck of a block. Aikman back to throw. Aikman gets it to Michael Irvin. Irvin inside the 10 to the 8.
Well, now they're starting to get to I mean, now they're doing what the Cowboys offense can do. They're getting some running game going with Emmitt Smith, and they're throwing the ball to their playmaker, Michael Irvin. That time, he was matched up against Gary Plummer, a linebacker with a bad leg.
2 minutes left in the first half. San Francisco 10-0. It's first and goal from the 8 for the Cowboys. Pat Summerall with John Madden. Dallas this drive 64 yards, 55 of it by Irvin and Smith. Aikman said, I have to be patient. And he's been just that.
Well, he's 5 for 5 on this drive.
Aikman chased inside the 10 to the 3 to the 4 maybe. They mark it down at the 4. Merton Hanks tripped him up.
I tell you, the guy that I think kind of caught him from behind was Chris Dolman. Chris Dolman was rushing from the backside, and I don't know if you're going to see, here's Chris Dolman right here coming in. Now, does Troy Aikman dive head first, or is he tripped or knocked right there? Does he get a foot and then make him go head first?
I think he does.
That's what I think happened. I think Chris Dolman just got a foot of Troy Aikman and made him go in that direction.
He got 4 yards. 2nd and goal at the 4. Time for Emmitt Smith behind Larry Allen. And Emmitt Smith stopped to pick his way, and things closed up pretty quick.
Remember, this is the area last week that gave him trouble at the end of the game against the Philadelphia Eagles. They got in there on 1st down and they ran Emmitt Smith and he didn't get anything. They ran him on 2nd down. He didn't get anything. And on 3rd down, they threw an interception.
They ran him on 2nd down and they got a yard in this situation.
So now this is a passing situation, but at least their goal line offense isn't in there now. They have their wide receiver. They have Michael Irvin up on top, Deion Sanders down here in the bottom.
And no ball carrier now. Aikman, quarterback draw, dives, touchdown.
That has to be a new play. In all the years I've seen Troy Aikman and the Dallas Cowboys and Ernie Zampese, I've never seen him run a quarterback draw.
You remember last week, the Eagles did it to them.
That's right. Here's they split it out. Now watch, when the back goes in motion, there's only one guy in the backfield. Now when he leaves, there's no one to carry the ball. So the linebacker leaves with him. And look at that big hole. All they have to do is get a block here, and there's going to be a hole. They really didn't get that good a block.
No, he came very close to slipping down before he ever got started.
I know. They had 2 guys on Brian Young and didn't block him, but Troy Aikman made a heck of an effort.
And the Cowboys are back in the middle of this contest. It's 10-7 San Francisco.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper is just what the doctor ordered.
San Francisco 10, Dallas 7. Cowboys took 11 plays, went 72 yards. Aikman scored the touchdown from 3 yards out. Bonio's kickoff will be handled by Dexter Carter at about the 7. Flag on the play. A penalty marker down. Billy Davis, Randall Godfrey down to make the stop on the kickoff. 10-7 San Francisco, a flag on the play.
Holding during the return, number 86, 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
Holding against the 49ers.
That was a takedown
by Manuel.
Sean Manuel.
10-7, the 49ers lead it. Back at 3Com Park, the 49ers leading the Cowboys by 3. Elvis Gerbach is the 49er quarterback. Steve Young, concussion, went to the locker room early. Kirby, the ball carrier, slung to the ground by Chad Hennings.
Yeah, we talk about the defensive tackles and the things that you have to do. If you don't get those defensive tackles blocked, if they get penetration, you don't have any chance at all to run the ball.
2nd and 13. That was a Dallas timeout, so they have 2 left. The 49ers have all of theirs. Kirby. Flag on the play. Kirby got about 5.
You know, Terrell Owens and Deion Sanders have been having a little battle out here and been punching and pushing and grabbing each other on every play. I don't know if that's a penalty they called or not, but they've been going after. I mean, they're just running away from him, and the 2 of them are out here playing a little game.
Unnecessary roughness. Face mask. Defense number 21. 15 yards. 1st down.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. As you see, it's right down here, and it's Terrell Owens and Deion Sanders, and they've been doing this every play. That's just a leftover from the last play, and you saw Deion Sanders just grabbed his face mask and pulled him.
And Owens grabbed Sanders' face mask and pulled him too.
And they were doing that to play before too, and you know, I mean, the play went away, and the 2 of them were just having some little thing going out here. Owens being a rookie, you know, showing he's not going to be intimidated. And Deion Sanders jamming him.
Good on first down, gets it outside to William Floyd, who doesn't get much.
Deion Sanders is now putting his hands out like, I didn't touch him, I didn't do anything. Deion Sanders sneaked up and just jammed Terrell Owens right on the line of scrimmage. So I'm going to show this rookie.
That's a bad call against him.
You don't want to wake Deion up if he's taking a rest.
That's the end of the first half with the score: San Francisco 10, Dallas 7. James Brown and Terry Bradshaw will be along with the Dockers Khakis halftime report following these messages.
The Dockers Halftime Report, brought to you by Dockers Khakis, the official khakis of Doubleheader Sundays. Hey, nice pants.
And welcome to those of you who've been watching Dallas and San Francisco. You know that San Francisco is on top of Dallas 10-7. Boy, they've done a nice job against Emmitt Smith. John Elway.
Oh, man, right now could be the guy that's going to win the MVP award. Out of the backfield, Shannon Sharp down, breaks to the left, makes the catch, turns it upfield, 15-yard touchdown. Denver up by 4, 7-3. Now Terrell Davis up inside, nobody there. Goes to the outside, 25-yard run. Later would score on a 2-yard run, over 1,000-yard rushing for 2 years in a row. Broncos 14-3 at the half.
Seattle in the second on top of the Vikings 13-7. John Freese 3-1 as a starter. Green Bay fell to Kansas City today. Greg Hill, impressive game, 2 touchdowns. Who is that?
Boomer Esiason, 523 yards, third best in the history of the NFL. But it's Terry Allen, who had 2 touchdowns rushing on today, 17 for the year. Now Boomer back trying to tie the football game up. There's touchdown pass. Anthony Edwards, 34-34 with the extra point. Now we go into overtime. Kevin Butler makes this 32-yarder after missing a 37-yarder. Washington was offside, got a chance to redeem himself. Cardinals upset the Redskins 37-34.
Oh, rub it in, Terry. Eagles drop to the Buffalo Bills by 7. 5 sacks by the Bills today. Look at that score there. 59-16. The Rams do it over the Falcons. Colts drop one to the Dolphins. Jimmy Johnson's team improves to 5-5. The Jets looked like they had it, but no. Drew Bledsoe came back strong, 297 yards. They win it. The Oilers, a final over Bradshaw Saints, 31-14.
Ought to coach them.
Oh, look at that. Well, you may need to help out the Steelers. 34-24 by Cincinnati. And Baltimore, Vinny at the helm, of course, over the Jaguars that early in the second. The Buccaneers, your guy,
overtime. Good job down there, Tony.
All right. When we come back, I think we've got a few more highlights and some other scores. And can we want to talk about?
I got a good name for you. A good name.
You got a good name. All right. When we come back. All right. Back here for the Dockers halftime with Terry Bradshaw. I'm James Brown. Let's take you around the NFL. The Chiefs over the Packers and Brett Favre.
Brett Favre, 4 sacks on a day by Kansas City. This time stripped by Neil Smith. Scooped up Kansas City's ball. Now, Greg Hill breaks loose his 24-yard touchdown run. The third of the day for Hill. Kansas City 27-6. Final 27-20. Kansas City over Green Bay. Now Greg Northam breaks through. He blocks Time Hutton's punt. Ball is scooped up. Takes it in, touchdown, game tied 7-all. Now, 4th and goal, 24-17 the score. Detmer is sacked. Final score, 24-17 Buffalo.
Dan Marino trying to get the Dolphins back on track.
Back looking right, turning around, firing to the left. Touchdown pass, O.J. McDuffie, 12 yards. Dan Marino over 50,000 yards passing. The first in the NFL to do that.
Bill Parcells smiling now, but he had his moments.
Yeah, his moments. Play action at the goal line. You see it a lot, but not from the eye. He fakes. Keith Byers back of the end zone. Touchdown, a 2-yarder. New England 31-27. And now on this last play, 4th down. Frank Wright looking in the end zone. Ball knocked away. 27. The Jets 31. New England wins.
Tampa Bay.
Whoa, Tampa Bay overtime Raiders. There's the kick. Michael Husted, a 23-yarder. Oakland loses 2. Tampa Bay 27. 17.
Green Bay, Kansas City. We talked about Bono needing to get creative. He was today.
Bono was creative, 69-yard pass right off the back to LaChapelle. The key to this game was Dale Carter stopping BB at the line of scrimmage. Lots of blitzing, man coverage, forcing Favre to hold the ball, messes up the timing of the pass that Green Bay wanted to get established. They couldn't go deep all day long. A lot of pressure, Kansas City's defense, and hey, Bono, fine job.
Blonde Bomber was strong on this. Dockers halftime will continue after this.
Ready for the second half at 3Com Park. The 49ers will be led apparently by Elvis Gerbach in the second half. Steve Young, we have not seen come out of the locker room yet.
And here's the first half hits on Young. Remember the first one? That was Broderick Thomas. The second one right there is when Jim Schwantz hits him after Broderick Thomas has him. And this was the last play that he was in there. But I think that he got the concussion on those first two.
A long trek for the coaches to get back and get ready for the second half. The first half statistics: 1 quarter for the 49ers, 1 for the Cowboys. First went to San Francisco, no question about that.
Yeah, and then it looked like in the pregame warm-up that the 49ers were ready, and that's the way they played the first quarter. Look at this. They had 139 yards in the first quarter. The Cowboys had none. Then you go to the second quarter, and it was just reversed. Now the Cowboys had 110 yards. The 49ers only had 3 and lost their starting quarterback. So far it's been a story of 2 quarters. Even the time of possession. Look, Cowboys only 3 minutes, 11 minutes for San Francisco in the first quarter, and then that was reversed in the second quarter. So as this game breaks down, it's 10-7, but the 49ers came out fired up. They were ready to go. They won the first quarter. The Cowboys finally got things under control, and they won the second quarter.
Herschel Walker back deep for the second half kickoff from Wilkins. Walker will handle it at the 3. Walker just outside the 20, about the 22. That's where the Cowboys will start. See what adjustments they made at halftime. Troy Aikman's one adjustment they won't make. He'll be at the helm. And he said he had to be patient.
Well, the thing that they got on that last drive when they scored the touchdown is they got some runs by Emmitt Smith. They got the ball to Michael Irvin. And then Troy Aikman on that last drive made 2 runs, including the touchdown run himself.
Emmitt Smith got 1 yard. Aikman got the rest from the 8. Yeah, 2 runs.
And that was a new play that the Cowboys just put in this week, that quarterback draw.
They saw it last week from Philadelphia. Aikman gives to Emmitt Smith, and there's nothing there. Hit by Gary Plummer.
There's an amazing story, Gary Plummer, Patty. Here's a guy who's playing with a torn cartilage today, is going to play in today's game. Now, this is something new in medicine that you've never heard of before. He's okay to play in the game today. He's going to be operated on Tuesday. They're going to operate on his knee Tuesday, and he'll miss 2 weeks after that.
Maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah, but that's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
That the guy, they already set his surgery for Tuesday, and he's playing today here in the game against the Dallas Cowboys.
2nd and 10. Aikman to throw. Outside to Bjornsson. Picked up about 3 yards, stopped by Tim McDonald. Bjornsson, they really wondered if he'd be able to play or not because of that sprained ankle. And in warm-ups before the game, I didn't think he would.
Well, Barry Switzer said last week, someone said, how's Bjornsson doing? He said, well, his limp is getting better.
Yep.
And, in training camp, remember, he had a pulled hamstring, then he got the ankle injury, and they were just hoping to get him through the first half.
Ernie Zampese said he's got to play.
Or he has to do this, use 3 wide receivers, 1, 2, 3. Oops.
Dolman jumped. I don't know if he was pulled offside or not.
Offside. Defense number 56 unabated towards the quarterback. 5-yard penalty. Repeat down, 3rd down.
Here he is right here. I mean, he was not only offsides, but he had one of those unabated deals. In other words, when he got offsides, then he had an unabated shot at the quarterback, so they blew the whistle.
He got to practice his swim move.
Yeah, he practiced his swim move. Mark Tuinei didn't care. He knew it didn't count.
So that makes it 3rd and about 2.
But you can't go unabated. I mean, he was going unabated. If you go unabated, you better not hit the quarterback, because then it would be, unnecessary roughness.
Aikman. Deion Sanders broke away, and he's got some room. Deion Sanders to the 43-yard line of San Francisco. Merton Hanks stopped him.
You know what would have been interesting, Pat, if Deion Sanders is the fastest guy in football. Now, you don't expect him to do a lot of slants, and this is what Deion does here. But if he's the fastest guy in football, which everyone says he is, he should just outrun the thing right now. He shouldn't have waited for Merton. I guess Hanks did have the angle on him there. I said it was going to be interesting if he would just take off and sprint to see if Merton Hanks could catch him. But Merton Hanks said all safeties do this. All good safeties take good angles.
Deion's first catch. What a perfect throw.
Most of Troy Aikman's passes aren't perfect throws.
He's back to do it again. Incomplete. Marquez Pope.
Just when I said that, he almost throws an interception to Marquez Pope. Now watch Pope here. He's going to play tight, and as Irvin runs this out, Marquez Pope comes up and he gets underneath the out because he has help deep. You see, if you have someone behind you, he can play underneath it. You see how he's playing underneath? Now when he makes a break, he can go run right underneath Michael Irvin's out. This is the way Marquez Pope gets ready, Pat. He comes out here and does this for an hour, starting at 11:30 in the morning to get his reactions ready so he can attack.
Emmitt Smith. How'd you like to be the guy holding his gloves?
That's George Chung. That's what Chung does. Chung comes out and he holds those gloves, and a lot of players hit him. And you see it, they just to react, and then to go a whole bunch of punches, because Marquez Pope says, he's a safety playing corner, and he said, as a corner, I just have to have a mental set to attack, and I have to attack all day.
Poor George never gets to hit back.
No. George just has to take it. George just wears the gloves, and they call him, hey, George Chung, come on over here, let me punch you.
3rd and 6. Aikman has to unload.
Ooh, I don't know.
Stubblefield.
I don't know that they couldn't call that one throwing the ball away, Pat, because there was no receiver out there. We said if you're going to block, you got to get those guys blocked. Here's Stubblefield right here. He works against Ray Donaldson. He just goes right by Donaldson, and he's the guy that hits Troy Aikman first, and Troy Aikman throws the ball away. Because if you look out here, you're going to see the thing. Here's where Troy Aikman throws the ball, and there's no Cowboy receiver out in this area here at all.
But he got it across the line of scrimmage. I think that's one of the vital facts. Jets punt. Fair caught by Terry Kirby at about the 8 or 9. And that's where the 49ers will start. Long way to go, and Elvis Gerbach's the quarterback.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Ford Escort. It's new and it's nifty, made for the smart, the intelligent, thrifty. By Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper is just what the doctor ordered. And by the United States Marine Corps. The change is forever.
The MetLife blimp is cruising the skies above San Francisco's 3Com Park, powered by twin engines that are capable of reaching speeds greater than 57 miles an hour. Snoopy 2. Furnishing us with those great shots today from above. Gerbach. Rice. 49er first down. Now for McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
Matt, Seattle is dismantling Minnesota. Take a look at Steve Broussard. Hit the hole in 4th gear. He takes it in for the score. It's 28-7 Seattle over Minnesota. 7 seconds left in the half. Back to Pat and John.
Back at 3Com Park, it's 10-9, 10-7. 49ers leading the Cowboys 1st and 10 at their own 26 for San Francisco. Gerbach gives to William Floyd. Floyd is hit. Just as he turned upfield by Strickland.
One thing is, we talked about this Cowboy defense today, how they're playing a base defense of 2 linebackers and 5 defensive backs, and I think with Darren Woodson playing a weak side linebacker, it looked like it took the first quarter for them to adjust to it. And then the second quarter, they've adjusted playing this defense, and they've been playing it very well since then. You see, here's Darren Woodson here, normally a strong safety, playing right here in the linebacker location.
Derek Lavelle was the man in motion. Breaks Woodson's tackle.
That was still a heck of a collision, though. I mean, Derek Woodson, I'll tell you about him. I mean, he was a linebacker in college, a safety in the pros, but when he comes up, he lays the wood. And he really did on Lavelle on that one. The only thing he didn't do is he didn't wrap his arms. But that was one, I mean, that was way over on the other side of the field. You could hear that one all the way up here.
Dick Hantack.
Illegal shift. Numbers 80 and 82 moving at the same time. 5-yard penalty. Repeat the down. Second down.
Now what that is you can have two people shift, but you can only have one person in motion. So if two people are shifting at the same time, then you have an illegal thing. Listen to this.
Problem is that penalty is they don't have a number 82.
80. I think it was probably 81. I think it was Rice was one of them because he was one of the guys, and I think Terrell Owens was probably the other one.
Here's Gerbach back to throw. Hands time. Pass complete to Rice. Taken down in a hurry by Kevin Smith, short of the first down.
That was one of those option routes where Jerry Rice runs like he's going inside and then pivots back outside, and Elvis Gerbach does. But watch him, he's here, and he's going to come up and come in here, then go back out. You see, he gets his hand up. Now he starts in here, see, and then he just starts in, and then he gets Kevin Smith to start that way. Then he goes right back out. Of course, Jerry Rice is going to catch passes like that, but if you're Kevin Smith, you have to do exactly what he did. He's going to catch him, but you got to tackle him when he catches him.
3rd and 6. Gerbach. Incomplete. He just threw it away. Tolbert applied a little pressure.
I think it was a combination of Tolbert's pressure, like you say, Pat, and the good coverage on Jerry Rice. Because he's out there. Jerry Rice is up on top, up in here, and Gerbach is trying to throw the ball to him. So he's going to get pressure here from Tolbert, plus good coverage up on top. You see, here comes the pressure right now, so then he just had to throw that one away. But that's the second time that Frank Pollock is trying to cut someone, and the guy just jumped over him.
Thompson. Kick comes off the inside of his foot and bounces out of bounds. Not his best by any means. The Cowboys take over at their own 36. San Francisco 10, Dallas 7, 3rd quarter. San Francisco 10, Dallas 7, 3rd quarter. 3Com Park.
Well, that's an old
day.
one, isn't it? That airplane?
World War I.
It's amazing it stays up.
Yeah.
Keeps its wheels down all the time. Those old ones always have their wheels down.
It's a good idea. Emmett Smith, and Emmett gets around the corner and is knocked backwards after he picked up 5. Marquez Pope.
You know, that's one of the advantages of having a safety play corner. That when you start run, the outside guy, now what he has to do is if they run to him, he has to be the force guy. So here he comes off, and then he sees it's run. Now he has to get up and force that thing back inside. And I think Emmett Smith saw Marquez Pope coming and saying, hey, there's a guy who is a corner, used to be a safety, and hits like a linebacker.
And that causes sudden stops. 2nd and 4. 49ers showed blitz. Sanders incomplete.
Ooh, and Troy Aikman is upset with that one because they came on a blitz. They brought Merton Hanks up. Merton Hanks came from the outside. Darrell Johnston stayed in there and picked him up. Watch Darrell Johnston. He's going to be here. Hanks is going to come from this side. Johnston picks him up, so you get man-to-man. Johnston picked him up there on the outside. They had man-to-man. And that's what Troy Aikman is looking for, man-to-man, the safety blitz. They had nothing there, and then he didn't hit him.
Makes it 3rd and 4. They're 3 out of 8. 3rd down conversions. San Francisco leads by 3. 10-7 in the 3rd quarter. Aikman back to throw. enough for the first down. Bjornsson made the catch, but he was a yard shy, covered by Lee Woodall.
Lee Woodall, you look at Lee Woodall, and he looks just like Evander Holyfield.
Like a twin almost.
I know, we saw Lee Woodall in practice yesterday in the 49ers, and then you watched the fight last night, Evander Holyfield and Mike Tyson, and you say, boy, look at this guy. Here's Lee Woodall right here, and look at this. This is Evander Holyfield. I don't know that wasn't after the fight, though.
I think it was. Jet gets off a good kick. Dexter Carter lets it bounce. Takes the Cowboy hop straight up, and they down it at about the 10. Herschel Walker down it, and the 49ers will have 90 yards to go. They lead by 3. Back at 3Com Park, Pat Summerall, John Madden, Steve Young out with an injury. He threw a touchdown pass to Iwazaki. In this Budweiser game summary, Troy Aikman scored the Dallas touchdown, but Steve Young is still in the locker room. Aikman ran a quarterback draw from 3 yards out. Here's Gerbach back to throw it. Swings it outside. Not much doing. Terry Kirby made the catch.
You know, Elvis Gerbach has injured himself. Remember 3 weeks ago he hurt his shoulder. He was inactive. They had him active last week, but George Seifert said he would have hated to have played him. He said he thinks he would be okay this week. It's his left shoulder, not his right shoulder.
He's wearing a harness to restrict the movement, but not so that it affects his throwing motion.
And if you look at this, remember last time he played Dallas, he was 20 for 30 and 305 yards and 2 touchdowns. So this is no big bargain for the Cowboys.
Gerbach has a man wide open, Ted Popson. They forgot to cover the backup tight end, who's done a good job. 22-yard gain, Gerbach to Popson.
And that's why they need someone like Popson, because they get so involved with a Jerry Rice. They got the 2 tight ends. They both come out in pattern. Brent Jones takes the inside, Popson takes the sideline, and Gerbach throws it perfectly to Ted Popson. You see that? They had the 2 tight ends, Brent Jones and Ted Popson, lined up next to each other. They both came off the line of scrimmage together. Jones inside, Popson outside.
Kirby broke 1 tackle.
Again, we talked about tackles you have to block. You better block Leon Lett. Here we're going to see Leon Lett again get penetration. Now, once you can get a defensive guy back in that area, there's not much room to run the ball.
I don't think the Cowboys had a cornerback on this side.
Well, you know, they probably didn't, because they had 8 guys right up there in the line of scrimmage. In that picture we just saw where they're running, they had 8 guys up there. Here it is right here.
They don't have a cornerback.
They have 8 guys right up there. Well, it's 2 tight ends and just 1 wide receiver.
Yeah. 2 tight ends again. Derek LaValle is the deep back. Blitz coming. Picked off by Woodson. Gerbach trying to throw a middle screen. It's picked off by Darren Woodson.
And that's exactly why Darren Woodson is playing there. Remember the last time that Gerbach played against him? The last time that he beat him, they took advantage of those linebackers. So what the Cowboys said today they're going to do is they're going to put a safety. They're going to put Darren Woodson as a linebacker. So you're not going to take advantage of Darren Woodson.
There have been 2 turnovers in this game, both by San Francisco. 1 a fumble by Young, 1 the interception by Gerbach.
You see, you get the blitz, and then you get Darren Woodson is in good coverage here. You see, and he just sees the whole thing. He's just standing right there waiting for the cross, because they were beaten by the crossing patterns the last time. Darren Woodson, waiting for the cross, intercepted a screen.
1st and 10, Emmitt Smith gets the carry. Smith breaks 1 tackle and burrows to about the 28, 27. Hanks and McDonald made the stop.
Yeah, we talked about the turnovers. You look, the last 3 games, the 49ers won. Dallas had 12 turnovers. San Francisco won. San Francisco was 3-0. The previous 3 games, Dallas only had 1 turnover. San Francisco had 7, and then Dallas was 3-0.
6-yard gain, 2nd and 4. Steve Young is still in the locker room. He suffered what they call a slight concussion.
Yeah, but that was his second one in 3 weeks, and that's too many.
Smith again, flag on the play. Doesn't get the first down, gets only a couple. Ken Norton made the stop.
You know, talking about those 6 games, Pat, we just talked about the 3 that the 49ers have won, the 3 Dallas won before that. One guy won all those games, and that's Ken Norton.
All 6 of them.
Right, all 6 of them.
Number 22, moving prior to the snap.
3 as a Cowboy, 3 as a 49er.
Down, second down.
Watch this. Emmitt Smith, I don't think ever really had control of that ball. It was almost knocked out, but that's why a running back has to have strong hands, because Ken Norton hit that ball and Emmitt Smith was able to hold on to it with that left hand.
Makes this a passing down now, 2nd and 9. Johnston goes in motion. Aikman just fires it high, a penalty marker down. Tim McDonald is over in the area, along with Marquez Pope.
And Michael Irvin.
Yep. It's going to be against San Francisco.
Holding. Defense. Number 23.
Marquez
5 yards.
Pope.
Automatic first down.
And that's an automatic first down, too. You're going to see Marquez Pope is the outside guy here. Here's Michael Irvin. Again, everyone knows that if you're going to play against Michael Irvin, you have to be physical. Marquez Pope is a physical guy anyway, and he really had him pretty good there. But you just have to take your hands off him. You know, you can get up there, you can hit him, you can jam him in that first 5 yards, but you can't hold him.
First down, Cowboys at the 49er 27. Emmitt Smith can't get underway. He only got a yard.
And you see the guy that was in there again is Bryant Young.
And Stubblefield.
I mean, those are the 2 guys. And you know, Emmitt Smith, most of his runs are inside. You know, but if you're going to run inside, again, you have to get these 2 guys blocked. And watch the penetration here by Bryant Young. You see, he comes in there, he takes his man, he straightens him up, and then he gets the penetration right there. Not only did he get the penetration, but he made the tackle. But he just straightened Ray Donaldson right up.
2nd down and 9. That was Johnston in motion. This is Emmitt Smith with the carry. He's got a caravan in front of him. Good play by Marquez Pope to trip him up because he had some room to ramble.
Well, I think they found out that you can't run inside, that you better pack those 2 tackles in there, Stubblefield and Young inside, pack them inside, and then get to the outside quickly. Well, you can look here, he has 16 rushes for 51 yards, averaging 3.2, and I think most of those 51 yards for Emmitt Smith has been when he's gone to the outside.
3rd and short. Inside the 20 at about the 18. Emmitt Smith again gets the first down for the Cowboys at about the 15. John Marshall, the linebacker coach, was signaling, call us a timeout, please. He never got it done.
He was probably trying to get a short yardage defense in there.
I doubt if he said please.
Yeah, and he didn't get the timeout, and the Cowboys did get the first down. And that was just that lead play.
Yep.
You know, Moose Johnston leading to that left side, and Emmitt Smith running right in behind him.
Very basic.
Well, the Cowboys have made a living on that over the years.
Sherman Williams has replaced Emmitt Smith, and he gets the carry. Sherman Williams down to about the 13-yard line, maybe the 12, tripped up by Gary Plummer.
And a good lead block. You know, usually you think of Moose Johnston going inside and making a lead block. That time he went outside and he blocked Lee Woodall.
Nobody does it better.
But watch him come to the outside. Now here's Lee Woodall here. Now he's going to get him and get him going backwards, and he's the guy that gets the corner. See, he gets Sherman Williams that corner. See the block right here? Look at that. That is a heck of a block. And because that's the guy that has to step up to make that play.
2nd down, Dallas at the 13.
Someone's going to step on that bird.
Johnston goes in motion this time. And Aikman goes back to throw. Aikman down to the 12, and the ball came loose, and Aikman took a pretty good shot.
Yeah, that's why they give those quarterbacks that thing where you don't have to go head first. That you can go feet first. If you go feet first, they can't hit you. But if you go head first, the thing that they're gonna hit is your head. Watch him here. He's still trying to throw the ball. His receivers really aren't working. And then when he goes head first, that was a collision right there with his head.
And he's started back to the bench, and now he's down on his knee.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Porsche, who wish to remind you there is no substitute.
You know, there's Troy Aikman, Pat. They're putting the contact in. They took him out. I think he landed on the ball. He got hit and knocked his contact out of his left eye. And you saw that picture there where they were putting the contact lens back in his left eye. They had to take him out of the game. You know, once a player gets injured and they take the timeout, then they have to take the player out of the game for one play. So Wade Wilson is in at quarterback. Now, if Troy Aikman really doesn't have an injury, you would expect him to be in on the next down if they get a first down.
This is an injury timeout, not a charge timeout.
It's also third down.
Right. That's Emmitt Smith. And he won't get the first down. But they'll have a chance to tie. Dedrick Dodge made the stop on Emmitt. And here comes the Cowboy field goal unit.
You can tell that Barry Switzer wanted to get in a shootout today, and he thought he had to, and he sure doesn't want to have to kick this field goal, but he has to. That's the play he has to make here.
You know, I remember a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, I guess it is now, that in the Super Bowl game, the one that was in Atlanta, Aikman had new contacts, and he got him in the wrong eye. And he played the whole game like that.
With the contacts in the opposite eye?
In the opposite eye.
Well, he just had one knocked out here.
So the Cowboys will try to tie it now. It's 10-7 San Francisco. Bonio from 26 yards out. And we're all even at 10. The Cowboys 10 as Bonio hits from 26 yards away. Aikman, it seems to be okay. It's 10-10 Dallas and San Francisco. '49ers and Cowboys tied at 10 with 14:56 left to play in the game. The owner of the '49ers in the center. President of the '49ers, I should say, Carmen Policy. The owner's here as well, Eddie DeBartolo. Derek Lavelle. Good return.
Yeah, we were talking about in the pregame warm-up, you could see that the 49ers came out and they were really fired up, and I thought the Cowboys were flat. Look at the first quarter. The 49ers had 139 yards. The Cowboys had none. Then since that first quarter, look what's happened. The Cowboys have 178 yards, and the 49ers only have 51. Also, in that first quarter, the 49ers scored their 10 points, and the Cowboys have scored their 10 points since.
This is William Floyd. Knocked out of bounds after a yard gain.
You know, and then the time of possession, Pat's the same way. In the first quarter, the 49ers had the ball 11 minutes, 30 seconds to 3 minutes, 30 seconds of the Cowboys. And then since that time, the Cowboys have had it 21 minutes to the 49ers 8 minutes and 19 seconds. So the time of possession has really gone with the score. When they had the ball, they were ahead. When they didn't have the ball, they got behind.
On second down, Gerbach throws it outside to Kirby. Kirby is down, and a flag on the play. Strickland hopping up and down. He made the stop. It's going to be a face mask, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's one of those things with these guys. You know, you go to tackle, and these backs are so tough to tackle. You're just going to grab anything you can. And sometimes you go to grab, and the first thing that you touch out there is a face mask.
Face mask. Defense, number 55. 5 yards. Repeat the down. Second down.
He didn't mean to do it, is what it means.
Well, what happens is he did it, but he was a little faked out. You know, he had the outside, and then when Kirby went to cut back against him to the inside, the only thing Strickland had was his left arm, and he put his left arm up there, and his left hand grabbed in the face mask.
So it's a 5-yard penalty. It's not a first down. 2nd and 2. Brent Jones backs up. Now he goes in motion, and Gerbach comes to throw. Kirby will get the first down and more. Terry Kirby gets across midfield to the 45-yard line of Dallas. Darren Woodson knocked him out of bounds.
Yeah, the first thing that the 49ers did in the first quarter, you know, we talked about the yards and the time of possession, is they were working Jerry Rice more. And they had a pretty good combination of running with Kirby and running with William Floyd and throwing the ball to Jerry Rice. And they've kind of gotten away from that since then. And I think that to get back in the flow and to get back and moving things, they have to get the running game going. Plus, they have to start getting the ball again to Jerry Rice.
1st and 10. Gerbach gives to William Floyd. And Floyd's got some room and out of bounds after a pickup of 9.
Oh! Chris Dolman is still blocking Deion Sanders. That's Dolman, number 67. He was leading out there on the cornerback, Deion Sanders. He made a heck of a block on him, and he kept blocking him right out of bounds, right behind all those photogs over there.
No flag.
That's the way a guard should block, though. Watch him. Here he is, and Deion Sanders right there. Deion's trying to get his face mask up there. Dolman just keeps blocking him, blocking him, blocking him. Deion was holding on to his face mask, and Dolman gave him one last shove, and they're over in here still playing football.
2nd and short.
Playing football among the photags.
Gerbach calls a timeout. The 49ers will have 2 left.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Toyota and their full line of quality cars and trucks. By Dockers Khakis. Hey, nice pants. And by the Oral-B Plaque Remover, providing unsurpassed clinical performance.
Three-Com Park in San Francisco. Dallas 10, San Francisco 10. The 49ers have the ball at the Dallas 35, 2nd and 1. Gerbach's going to go deep. Got a man open. Whoa, he had Terrell Owens wide open, and he just overthrew him, and he knows it.
That was an interesting play because Terrell Owens was kind of like a decoy, and he came out and he was kind of going in slow motion. You watch him, see him here, he's kind of going in slow motion, comes off the line slow, and then boom, he turns it on like I was just fooling you. And he just runs right by everyone. And if Gerbach had just taken a little more off that was a touchdown.
He had it and had a lot of room. 3rd and 1.
The closest guy was Roger Harper, and he ran right by Harper.
Here's Gerbach. To Terry Kirby, who surges for the 49er first down behind the blocking of William Floyd.
I think one thing that the 49ers can do is really take advantage of those safeties. Roger Harper's playing one safety now, and George Teague is playing the other safety. One because Brock Marion is injured, he's out of the game, and the other one, Darren Woodson, is playing up as a linebacker. Darren Woodson again playing linebacker up there today, and so they have 2 backup safeties, and neither one of them can really run well, especially Harper. I think they can take advantage of his lack of speed.
Here's Gerbach. For Rice, incomplete. Covered well by Kevin Smith.
Gerbach's proven he has enough arm here, doesn't he? He had Terrell Owens out there, and he overthrew him, and then he overthrew this one to Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice wasn't as open as the one before.
No.
I mean, Terrell Owens was open. That was a touchdown.
Gerbach and the 49ers figured we might as well take some shots. Wazake, the man who scored the first 49er touchdown, is in the game now.
It's going to be interesting with Elvis Gerbach being a free agent at the end of this year, what the 49ers do. They let him go and keep Steve Young, or let Steve Young go and keep him both.
That'll bring up 3rd and about 5.
I think that's the reason that, Steve Young is so concerned with those injuries. He had the groin injury and missed, and then he had the concussion and missed, and then today he has another concussion. And when you get to be his age, that 35, 36, you just can't play the way you used to. You can't play as recklessly as you once did.
And you don't come back quite as quickly. 3rd and 5. Good call. This is Kirby. Kirby, touchdown, 49ers. Seven-yard touchdown run by Terry Kirby.
Off tackle, that last tackle, George Teague knocked him into the end zone, but they're just going to come and run right in this area here. You see it's a delayed draw, but look at this lane right here. They just run the defensive backs off. They block the safety, and the last safety, George Teague, it just knocks him into the end zone.
Woodson just got knocked inside, and that's where they went.
That's one thing you know. You play a safety at linebacker, but they're going to test him. They're going to run right at him.
17. Pregame Park in San Francisco. The 49ers 17. Touchdown run by Terry Kirby. 21 straight victories when the team has rushed for over 100 yards, and they're over that figure today. Herschel Walker back deep for Dallas. Wilkins set to kick it off for San Francisco. Walker at the 7. Down about the 28 is Herschel Walker.
We've talked.
He'll take over.
I was just saying, we talked all day about Darren Woodson playing linebacker, and that touchdown, they really took advantage of him. See, what's happened is when the tight end blocks down, Darren Woodson comes in here with him. They kick Tolbert out, and the hole is going to be right here. But watch Darren Woodson, how he comes in here and then just really takes himself out of the play. They block him. Tolbert is on the outside. There's no one in that hole. One safety gets blocked by Jerry Rice. The other safety, George Teague, knocks Kirby into the end zone.
Aikman back at quarterback for Dallas. 1st and 10 at their own 28. Aikman back to throw. Swings it outside to Darrell Johnson up to the 30. Ken Norton brought it down. Right now, for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
Chicago doing its best to stay close to Denver here. Dave Craig, nice fade pattern to Curtis Conway. He was pushed out. Count the score. It is 17-9 Denver in the 4th. Back to Pat and John.
Back at 3Com, it's the 49ers 17, the Cowboys 10. 10 minutes, just over 10 minutes left to play.
Michael Irvin hasn't caught a pass this half. He got 4 in the first half, and they haven't gone to him yet this half.
It's Emmitt Smith. Nowhere to go. Emmitt swarms, lost the ball. The Cowboys got it back. Michael Irvin wrestled the ball loose.
And Emmitt Smith is doing things that Emmitt Smith usually doesn't do. Now, part of that can be those defensive tackles, but part of it is Emmitt Smith. I mean, Emmitt Smith used to take a ball and just run it into a hole and either run it there or cut it back, but he never turned and ran all the way out here like that. And again, but you just see there's no hole there. There's no place to go. They're not controlling. So he comes back and he gets the ball stripped right there at the end. Michael Irvin was in position to recover it.
3rd and 13. Aikman back to throw. Has some protection this time. And now he's going to take off and throw it. Drops it up the field, just throws it away. Incomplete. Sanders in the area, but the Cowboys will have to punt.
Yeah, once he leaves and gets outside that tackle box, he can throw the ball away. That's a rule they put in a couple of years ago, as long as it gets back to the line of scrimmage. That ball was over the line of scrimmage. Aikman did throw it away, but that was a legal throw away. But again, it was caused by a pretty good pass rush and very good 49er defensive pass coverage.
Jet back to punt. Dexter Carter deep for the 49ers. Jets kick is a good one. Dexter Carter retreats all the way to the 15. And down in a hurry is Jim, I beg your pardon, I thought it was Jim Schwantz. It was Alan Campos who brought him down. 59-yard punt, 6-yard return. 17-10, the 49ers over the Cowboys.
You know, it's interesting, Pat. I think the Cowboys in the defense after that last touchdown have adjusted. I think they're putting Darren Woodson back as a safety now. Here's Darren Woodson here. Here's George Teague here. Brock Marion is out of the game. You see they got the 3 linebackers are there. Smith, Strickland, and Schwantz playing right here now. So again, Woodson has gone back to his safety position. He's been playing a linebacker all day today.
49ers go with 2 tight ends. That's Potson, who makes the catch out to about the 25. Schwantz and Woodson drove him out of bounds.
Because the whole day today they've been playing with, again, 4 linemen, 2 linebackers, and 5 defensive backs. Now they're going to the 4 defensive linemen, 3 linebackers, Jim Schwantz being the next linebacker, and then of course the 4 defensive backs.
2nd and 7. 2 tight ends set up again. Kirby the lone setback, and he gets the carry. Kirby is hit by Strickland and taken down after he picked up a couple.
I think since Steve Young went out and Elvis Gerbach came in, I think that Mark Trestman, the offensive coordinator of the 49ers, has gone back to the running game.
Yep.
And I think that's the adjustment that the Dallas Cowboy defense is doing. There's Mark Trestman right there in the sunglasses calling the plays, and I think he's calling an excellent game today. Dave Campos, as defensive coordinator, was really playing against a pass offense, and now he has changed and he is playing against a run offense right now.
3rd down. Here's Gerbach. Gerbach chased by Tolbert, gets away from him, and now steps out of bounds as he's pursued by Hennings. And the 49ers will have to punt and they lost big yardage.
And that's inexperience here because, as I just said, once he gets outside that tackle box and he's outside the tackle and he runs out here, he gets a free throw away. I mean, he could have thrown that ball anyway and it goes back to the line of scrimmage. You see, when he goes here and he goes on the bootleg and he has nothing here, nothing here. Now, right now, he ought to just throw it right up the thing, and then the ball will come back to the original line of scrimmage.
As it is, he lost 11 yards. Thompson back to punt. High kick is going to be handled by Kelvin Martin. Looking for some place to go, and he found a little room. Kelvin Martin down the sidelines and knocked out of bounds.
Yeah, here's one of the reasons, Pat, that he couldn't throw the ball to Jerry Rice. Deion Sanders is holding him.
That'll frustrate you.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper is just what the doctor ordered.
The Dallas Cowboys have the ball at the 49er 47-yard line. 1st and 10. San Francisco leading by a touchdown. Great defensive battle, a great defensive game by both teams today. Aikman to throw it. Aikman to Irvin. Irvin to the 20, to the 18. Brought down, dragged down by Tyrone Drakeford. That's the first pass he's caught in the 2nd half.
And you know, it was just a matter of time that they had to do that. Michael Irvin, one of the best things that he does is run a deep end or run patterns to the inside because he's so big and so strong. See, he starts up. Now he starts on the slant. Troy Aikman hits him perfectly where he didn't even have to break stride, and he could just run right away from Tyrone Drakeford.
See him cover up that ball after he knew that was as much as he'd get. That's Bjornsson in motion. Emmitt Smith heads to the outside to the 15. Smith out of bounds at about the 11.
I think Emmitt Smith hurt his knee on that play, Pat, or his ankle. Again, it was Tim McDonald. You know, we talked about that. You look inside. It's those 2 tackles when you play the 49ers. You break to the outside, then you have to locate Tim McDonald because Tim McDonald is going to locate you.
And Emmitt Smith still down.
Well, he starts off here, and he's going to bring the ball into the right side, then bounce out. Now he gets outside the corner here. He runs away from Ken Norton. Now watch 46, Tim McDonald come. So he knows that he's going to get there, and that's the guy who got that ankle. Or the back of the foot or whatever it is. Looks like Deion Sanders is trying to block out there, but he blocked his guy, Tyrone Drakeford, right into Emmitt Smith.
And Drakeford and McDonald both hit Emmitt Smith, who tried to get up and then had to go back down, and Sherman Williams will come in his place. It's been a tough year for Emmitt Smith.
But again, those 49er run stoppers, and they're playing so well today with Dana Stubblefield, Bryant Young inside. There's been nothing inside all day for Emmitt Smith. Then when he bounces it to the outside, then he has to look out for Tim McDonald.
It's just been a series of injuries, one after the other for Emmitt. Going back to the preseason, 2nd and 1. Sherman Williams, the deep back. Aikman to throw. Pass is picked off by Marquez Pope. Pope with the interception. And the 49ers take over.
That's another thing that Troy Aikman doesn't do a lot of that. You know, Troy Aikman usually does smart things. The last couple of weeks, he hasn't always done smart things. Deion Sanders is trying to run a slant down here. Marquez Pope is just more aggressive. He's just more physical down here. He takes away the inside, and it's not there. Watch, here's Deion Sanders. Here's Marquez Pope. You see, he's going to run the inside. Marquez Pope beats Deion Sanders to the inside. Deion Sanders, if you're going to run in and you're going to run the side, you have to keep going. You can't stop. Troy Aikman expects him to keep going. Deion Sanders stops. Marquez Pope keeps going, and he comes up with the ball.
So the 49ers dodge a bullet. First down at the 9.
And I'll tell you, I'm just going to say, Troy Aikman is very, very upset with Deion Sanders.
49ers put Gerbach back to throw it. And the Cowboys get the interception right back. Strickland intercepts at the 15. And Gerbach, like Aikman, should not have thrown that one. Or whoever you want to blame. It's hard to know.
Look at that one. And if you're going to force something, you never force it inside. That's an old rule. If you're going to force something, you force it to the outside, you throw it out of the end zone. You don't force it in the middle. Elvis Gerbach did that time, and Fred Strickland was right there. Watch, here's Fred Strickland right here. You see now he was really just staying right there in the middle, and he's reading Elvis Gerbach. In fact, his job today was going to be to mirror Steve Young. Yep. Steve Young's out of the game. Now he just mirrors Elvis Gerbach. Gerbach tries to hit that thing in the middle, and there's Fred Strickland right there.
First down, Cowboys. Emmitt Smith is back in the game. Bjornsson was the motion man. Smith gets the carry. Smith down to about the 11. Clock running 6 minutes and 18 seconds left, and continues to run. 2nd and 6.
And I'll guarantee you one thing. Troy Aikman down in this area is not going to throw a pass to Ty J. Armstrong, and he's not going to throw a slant to Deion Sanders. If he's going to throw a slant, if you're going to force the ball, you better force it to a great wide receiver. If you're going to force the ball, force it to Michael Irvin, but don't force it to Ty J. Armstrong or to Deion Sanders.
Irvin is left, Bjornsson in motion. Marquez Pope jumped up and hit Michael Irvin.
I think maybe Michael Irvin moved first.
Maybe so.
I think that was what Marquez Pope was saying, that once that wide receiver gets set, he can't move forward. And I think Marquez Pope was saying that he moved forward. Michael Irvin is saying he just come up and punched him.
Let's see what Dick Hantak says.
Neutral zone violation, defense, number 23, 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Marquez Pope says that he has to be physical. He's going to attack. You see him now. He's looking inside. Now he comes up there, and I don't know that Michael Irvin didn't move first. That's what it looked like first. Who moves first? I don't know. That's close because you can't see the neutral zone, which is the length of the football, so you don't know if he came across that or not.
How often do you see a cornerback get called for that kind of penalty? 2nd and 2. Darren Johnson inside the 5. First down, a flag on the play.
I think Marquez Pope is really kind of redefined the position of cornerback, and he's made it a much more physical position.
It's going to be against Dallas.
Holding. Offense, number 86. 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down. Second down.
Bjornsson. 10-yard penalty.
Here's Eric Bjornsson right here. And you see Tim McDonald is right up on him. And he just comes in and he just grabs a guy right there.
Tackled him.
He just tackled Roy Barker.
So it's second down and 12.
Guys that really don't have good feet or aren't real strong or aren't real good blockers will do that a lot.
Second and 12. Aikman to throw up. Caught diving catch by Bjornsson. At about the 12. Picked up 5 maybe.
Well, if he did pick up 5, he just picked up half that he just gave him on that running play when he tackled Roy Barker.
Third down. They need 7 for a first.
This is an interesting call for Ernie Zampese here. That you know, are you going to kick a field goal if you don't get a first down? And again, you can get a first down without getting a touchdown, or is this a 1-play or a 2-play?
Interesting. Walker goes in motion. Aikman back to throw. Johnston makes the catch and gets the first down at about the 3.
See, that's the thing, because Dallas had all 3 of their timeouts and now they got the first down. I still think had they not gotten the first down, they probably would have had to kick a field goal, but you don't know what Ernie Zampese was thinking in that situation.
They mark it back at the 4, so it's first and goal at the 4.
Look at what a head coach does here. Watch George Seifert and watch Barry Switzer. They both just tighten up and start to squirm and move and do stuff and get body language to help it. And it's the most helpless feeling in the world. There's not a thing you can do.
Here's a timeout called by the Cowboys. Switzer has never beaten Seifert. It's first and goal, Dallas at the 4. Often with 3.5 minutes left in a contest, you look around the stands and there are a lot of empty seats. I don't see any today.
I don't think there's one empty seat. In fact, some people may come in and start filling seats. There may be more standing room now. But this isn't one of those places that leaves early either. I mean, San Francisco and Freecom Park is kind of tough to get into and tough to get out of and is long and tailgating.
First and goal at the 4. 3.5 minutes left to play. San Francisco by a touchdown over Dallas.
And it's interesting, the Cowboys aren't going to their goal line offense. They're keeping their, they are going to their goal line offense.
That's Bjornsson on the move, and that's Emmitt Smith knocked backwards at about the 6.
And now they're not going to their, I mean, Michael Irvin is really upset. He's coming in the game right now, and I don't know why they don't have him in there. I mean, I think that even if you have goal line offense, you can go 2 tight ends, but you ought to have Michael Irvin in there too, because he's big enough, he's strong enough, he's a blocker, and he's all those things, and you have the option to throw him the ball. When you take him out of there, then you lose that option, but now they have to go. Now they have Deion Sanders in there, and they have Michael Irvin down here, so they have 2 receivers.
And Aikman will throw if he has time, and he throws it away. Fires it over the head of Deion Sanders and everybody.
See, and the 49ers are making him go to a second read, because on that play and on the interception he threw, Deion Sanders was not the original receiver. Here's Deion Sanders up here. He doesn't want to throw to Deion Sanders. He's trying to throw to his left. You see him look to his left? He was trying to throw to Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin was covered. There was nothing there. Watch Michael Irvin here. Marquez Pope has good coverage. That's what he sees first. Marquez Pope had him. There was nothing to throw there, so he had to throw it away.
And Bjornsson fell down when he tried to cut. So there was nothing there either. Aikman. Touchdown to Eric Bjornsson. It looks so easy.
Now, the only guy out there with Bjornsson was Lee Woodall. There was no other 49er defender out there, and that ball was thrown right over Lee Woodall's head. But you see, Bjornsson is right there, number 86. The closest guy is Lee Woodall right there. Lee Woodall starts to work to the outside. There's no one behind him. That had to be a drop coverage.
Had to be. Although they had him in mind on the previous play. Bonio ties it 17-17.
Look at the two coaches on the score.
At 3Com Park, it's 17 Dallas, 17 San Francisco. And our Aflac trivia question, how many former Dallas and San Francisco assistant coaches are now NFL head coaches?
I'll bet you the number's a double-digit number.
I bet you there's a lot.
Because there's a lot of them. And when you take teams, these two teams have won the last 4 Super Bowls. And that's where you get head coaches from, usually an offensive coordinator or a defensive coordinator. You know, from the Super Bowl championship team is usually a pretty hot commodity.
Bonio kicks it off. Through the hands of Derek Lavelle, and they down it in the end zone. Let's try the Aflac question again. How many former Dallas and San Francisco assistant coaches are now NFL head coaches? Double digits, you say?
Yeah. Oh, 12. That's double digits.
That's double digits. That's amazing. But as you say, success in one place means let's do what they've been doing to win and be successful, so let's hire somebody that knows that system.
Well, you know, some of those guys, like a Dan Reeves, you kind of forget. You know, that, of course, he was a Dallas Cowboy for so long, but he's been gone, with the Denver Broncos and the New York Giants. Bruce Coslett just became a head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals the other day.
And has won 3 games. Here's a reverse to Rice. And Rice is caught after no gain by Darren Woodson.
Darren Woodson has a full day work today because he played about 3/4 of the game as safety, and I mean linebacker, and that's what he's playing now. They put him back as a linebacker, and he's one of those guys that can cover, can run, can tackle, and do all those things. He is a very, very valuable guy on this team because they got him back playing linebacker now.
2nd and 11. Germack back to throw, gets it out to William Floyd, and Floyd will get a 49er first down out of bounds at the 35. Gerbach under pressure, got it to Floyd. Floyd did the rest. 2 minutes left to play. And the 17-17 tie. Leon Lett wins the sweat contest today.
Yeah, I think so. He got him all the way down below the knees, and again, he's out there for a breather. But the Cowboys just had the 2-minute warning timeout, so they ought to get him back in there.
Casillas playing in his place. Gerbach back to throw. Attempt by Brent Jones, can't hang on.
Brent Jones is back in his 2nd week. Remember early in the season, he hurt his shoulder. He had a screw in his shoulder
from high school days.
Right, and then when he hit the shoulder, Ray Brown, his own guy, fell on his shoulder and popped the screw out. And he was telling me that that they had to operate on it. They had to take the screw out of there because he said, the biggest thing they were worried about is the screw would go into the heart.
And you don't want to leave that floating around him?
No. So he said they had to get out of it.
2nd and long. Gerbach has time and gets it to William Floyd. Not enough nearly for a first down, about a pickup of 3 or 4.
Gerbach is still throwing those balls into the middle, into crowds in there, and again, that's awfully dangerous. I mean, I think if you're going to force something or you're going to do something, do it to the outside, but don't be horsing around in there for little 1 or 2 yard gains, because he just had one intercepted about 15 minutes ago by Fred Strickland.
Bill Walsh down on the sideline, took it as long as he could. Here's Gerbach back to throw. incomplete and no flag. Intended for Owens, covered by Kevin Smith, and here comes the 49er punting team.
And I think I know what Bill Walsh is thinking. I think I know what Jerry Rice is thinking, that when you get in a big game like this and you got a player like Jerry Rice and you're into this type of situation, you got to get the ball in his hands.
Thompson back to punt. And deep for Dallas, Kelvin Martin. Punt hangs high. Martin has almost broken one. He heads it straight upfield to the 28. Steve Young, in the event you might have joined us late, started the game for San Francisco. Threw a touchdown pass, got hit twice, both times by Broderick Thomas, and had to go out with a slight concussion. His place has been taken by that man, Elvis Gerbach. And although his percentages are good in terms of completions, there have been 2 key interceptions that have led to Cowboy points.
Yeah, and one of those interceptions came right after Troy Aikman made an interception. Deion Sanders stopped on a slant, and Troy Aikman threw it to Marquez Pope, and then Elvis Gerbach came back and gave it right back to the Cowboys, and they went and scored with it.
Less than a minute left on the scoreboard. 17-17 tie at Aikman. Outside to Emmitt Smith, and Emmitt stays on his feet and gets the first down, runs out of bounds, and stops the clock after he picked up the first.
Again, both teams have 2 timeouts, so they have time here to get the ball down. Here's Emmitt Smith here. You see that he's going to set up to the right to block. Then he's going to just come to kind of scat to the left. He's just looking for an opening anywhere he can find one. Ken Norton is just playing man-to-man on him.
And Emmitt skipped out of Norton's attempted tackle and got a first down. 49ers showing blitz. Roy Barker jumped over the middle. Flag on the play.
I think Roy Barker jumped over the middle too soon, don't you?
I think so.
I mean, that's an infraction. That could be one of those abatement things. I think he kind of neutral zone, offsides, encroachment, and abated.
Defense, number 92, unabated to the quarterback.
Yes.
5 yards, still first down.
This game presented by authority of the National Football League. Excuse me, John, go ahead.
No, there's the unabated right there. I mean, he did go.
That's unabated.
Yep. He went. There was a neutral zone infraction and went unabated to the quarterback.
1st and 5. Cowboys a long time in the huddle. First and 5. Cowboys at their own 45, and here comes another San Francisco rush. Aikman down the middle, incomplete. Intended for Kelvin Martin, and he really cut that one loose. This game presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the San Francisco 49ers and the National Football League is prohibited. Switzer on the right, Seifert on the left.
Well, the fans sure got a good one in this one. This is one of those things that looked good when the schedule came out, and then both teams didn't play as well as you thought, but they sure have today.
Aikman retreats, going deep. Deion Sanders, the intended receiver.
He was out there on Steve Israel, or Israel was out there on Deion Sanders. Steve Israel fell down. Deion Sanders was wide open. There wasn't anyone around him. The corner fell down. That is unbelievable. Watch this. Steve Israel is here. He starts to go. He falls down. And right now, there's no one out there with Deion Sanders. All Troy Aikman has to do is throw it a little shorter, or Deion Sanders has to have about 2 more steps.
They got the coverage they wanted. He was out there all by himself, and now 3rd and 5, they've got to get a first down.
Out there all by himself and fell down.
Yes. Here is Aikman. Up the middle, complete to Kelvin Martin. Clutch first down, Dallas. Clock continuing to run, 30 seconds, and now they stop it.
And the Cowboys have to think now, the first thing they have to do is get in field goal position, and they need about 20 more yards.
Chris Bonio on the sideline. 17-17 tie. Welcome to 3Com Park in San Francisco. Those of you who've just joined us, it's a 17-17 tie between Dallas and San Francisco. Cowboys ball at the 49er 45. Trying to get in field goal range. And whistles come from everywhere. Steve Young suffered a slight concussion at the end of the first half and left. And this is a timeout.
Timeout, San Francisco.
49ers.
Their second timeout. This is
That's their second timeout. So both teams have one timeout remaining. To summarize what happened, Dallas has turned the ball over once, an interception by Marquez Pope. San Francisco has 3 turnovers, 2 interceptions by Gerbach, and a fumble by Steve Young. And Dallas has gotten 10 points off those turnovers. Young out, as I said, with an injury, a slight concussion. San Francisco got ahead quickly, 10-0. The Cowboys tied it up and then went ahead, and the Cowboys just tied it again. 30 seconds left in regulation.
Bonio's longest field goal is 52 yards. So for a 52-yard field goal, the Cowboys need 10 more yards. So at 10 more yards, if they pick up 10 more yards, that would be a 52-yard field goal. And then, of course, anything in addition to 10 would take off the 52. I mean, I would think to feel comfortable for the Cowboys in a field goal range, they need about 15 to 20 more yards.
I would think so. This is a grass field. You don't kick it quite as far on grass as you do on the artificial turf. Here's Aikman back to throw. Good protection. The pass is high, intended for Michael Irvin. 25 seconds left. The Dallas Cowboys, we mentioned this earlier, have lost the 10th game of the season, 10 straight years, the last 2 against the 49ers, and this is the 10th game of this season.
Yeah, none of that stuff means anything now. I mean, right now, the Cowboys need about 15 more yards, and the 49ers have to stop them from those 15 yards in 25 seconds.
2nd and 10. 1 timeout left for the Cowboys. 1 for San Francisco. Here's Aikman to throw. Going deep for Dion. Can't hang on. Had it momentarily and lost it.
You know, the reason that he's going for Deion Sanders is the coverage has to be great on Michael Irvin. Because I know that Troy Aikman would rather go to Michael Irvin. And that if they double him, then his read brings him back here to Deion Sanders. And he really doesn't want to have to do this.
He almost came up with it.
But here's the reason that he has to do it. You see, he's getting the double out there. You see, he has this guy waiting right here and the guy underneath it, so he doesn't feel that he can get the ball to Michael Irvin. So that read takes him to the other side of the field.
3rd and 10. They have 1 timeout left, 18 seconds left. Aikman back to throw. Sacked. And we're headed for overtime. Dolman beat the blocking.
That was the play that the 49ers needed. Because when they only had 1 timeout, that'll take it away. You watch Chris Dolman. He's gonna come from the outside. Chris Dolman is right here. He's working against Mark Tuinei. He gives him the inside move and gets right on Troy Aikman. That is a heck of a pass rush move against a big 300-plus-pound guy. He just, boom, he just swapped him right to the outside and went inside.
Well, he has that reputation. You've talked about it so many times of being a speed rusher, but you got to go inside once in a while.
I know it, and once those speed rushers go inside, they become much, much more effective.
San Francisco has taken a timeout. Nine seconds left to play. Following football here on Fox, Married with Children, The Simpsons, and The X-Files, except on the West Coast. We're headed for overtime at 3Com Park in San Francisco. Today's game is being produced by Bob Stenner, directed by Sandy Grossman. Technical producer is Bob Mueller. Associate director is Rich Russo. Broadcast associates Mike Roig and Fran Morrison. The studio was produced by Scott Ackerson and directed by Bob Levy. And the executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill. And back deep for Dallas, John Jett.
And I don't think there's anyone back deep for the 49ers, Pat. Look, they got all 11 guys. They're just up here for any kind of fake. And if it's kicked, they're just going to let it go. There's no one deep. Look, there's no one back here.
A flag on the play. A penalty marker on the play is Jett. And no one to cover it. The Cowboys will down it. Can't end on a defensive penalty. The game can't. The scoreboard clock has expired.
And the other thing is, if it's a roughing the punter, it's not. It's going to be against the kicking team anyway. So then it can end.
It can end, yes.
But if it is a roughing the kicker, then they still have to get the first down.
Formation.
The kicker brought out his best act,
not lined up on the line
but nobody was buying tickets. You're going to make him kick it again, huh?
But yeah, because they didn't have enough guys on the line of scrimmage, so they're going to kick it again. I think the 49ers are just going to try and come on another block.
Looks like it. Nobody deep.
See, because they don't have to worry about roughing the kicker, because now they can't get a first down, and roughing the kicker is not an automatic first down.
So they can tee off, huh?
Yeah, they can just tee off. But now they got one guy back. You see, they got a guy back here.
Yep.
The first time they did it, they had 11 guys up there.
Dale Hellestray is the snapper. 49ers have used all their timeouts, by the way.
The referee's gone over to the Dallas Cowboys sideline to explain to Barry Switzer, who's out on the field, Joe Avizano, the special teams coach.
Wade Wilson
are out there to explain what it is.
Now here comes Emmitt Smith. And here comes the Dallas offensive unit. What's going on? They must be just going to run out the clock and not even try to punt it.
Well, the thing is, they have to watch out when the whistle blows, because there's an automatic timeout at change of possession.
The 49ers have no timeouts.
I know, but if they don't make a first down, if they take a play and don't make a first down before the whistle blows, it's automatic timeout, change of possession.
Right. And that would put Jeff Wilkins.
Time ran out on the play.
Time ran out.
But since it is a foul by the offense on a kicking play, the defense can request to replay the down. There is no time on the clock. One snap.
Okay, well then they don't have to worry about that automatic. There's no time in the clock. So then once Barry Switzer, Joe Avizano heard that, he just put his offense back in there. Now he's just going to kneel down. I mean, there's no need to punt. There's no need to do anything.
Just got to snap the ball one time.
Well, although if there's no time in the clock, then why not take a shot?
Why?
Yeah, but I mean, just heave a deep one.
They might do that.
Yeah, just throw the old pigskin down there.
But
I mean, there's no time in the clock, so why not?
Take the risk of a fumble, and the 49ers picking it up and scoring.
Yeah, but I would take that risk. I would just have Troy Aikman heave one. What the heck? I mean, strange things have happened. Stranger things have happened.
Have they ever?
Strange things usually happen. I think he is going to look out there. He has 3 guys lined up out here. I think he is going to throw it up there. Heave the pigskin up there.
Yeah, he's going to. High and as far as he can throw it. And it's out of bounds. So we headed for overtime. And the rules of overtime, pretty much like starting all over again, except the number of timeouts.
Going back the other way.
Coin toss will determine possession. 1 15-minute quarter, 1 15-minute quarter, 2 timeouts per team. The first team to score wins. And there's all this business always about who wins the toss and how that's an unfair advantage. But if you look at statistics, it's pretty even.
Yeah, I've always felt that it's who you want to play first. If you like your defense and if you're holding them, both of these teams are playing well on defense. So I don't think that losing the toss is really a disadvantage to either team in this situation. Hey, one thing, there are 2 tired teams.
Yeah. Dick Hantack, the referee.
Dallas, you'll call the toss. This is heads. This is tails.
Visiting team always calls.
Heads is the call. It is heads. Dallas
will get the ball.
That's the way to get.
The team winning the toss has won 43% of the games. The home team is 5-2, so it's more of an advantage to be at home than it is to win the toss.
The right tackle. The right tackle. Don't go back. We're double 5. Come on back some to go to 4. Because if you go to ball once, you've got too much time to get around you. Okay? Now, when we got the ends going for the off 5.
The special teams coach giving his speech to his special teamers.
Joe Avizano.
You got two big guys.
Two big guys you got to block. Those of you who might have just joined us, we're at Pregame Park in San Francisco, and we're in overtime about to start. 17-17 tie between the Cowboys and the 49ers. Herschel Walker back deep. The Cowboys won the toss. They'll start things in overtime on offense.
Yeah, this is a good weekend for sports, Pat, and things living up to their expectations. I mean, the Cowboys and the 49ers, these two teams, two of the best the last 4 years. They've won the Super Bowl, and they're playing here today, and here we go into overtime. We have an overtime game. I mean, last night, Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson, you know, that lived up to expectations. I mean, that lived above expectations.
You're not telling me you expected Holyfield to win.
No, I didn't. I didn't expect Holyfield to win. I didn't expect it to go 11 rounds. I didn't expect anything, but I didn't expect this one to go into overtime either.
So the 49ers will kick it off. Jeff Wilkins back to kick, and deep for Dallas, Herschel Walker. And he's broken a couple in recent weeks. And he'll have a chance to handle this one. Short kick at the 13 is Walker. You got two guys to block. You heard Avizano say that. But the return does not materialize. Right now, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
At Chicago on 4th down, looking for the go-ahead score against Denver. Fade pattern. Craig looking for Curtis Conway, throws behind him. Chicago up into Denver now with an NFL best 9-1 mark. Back to Pat Summerall and John Madden.
And this is one of the NFL's best today at Pregame Park as well. Troy Aikman leads the offensive unit out 1st and 10 at their own 23-yard line.
And this crowd is into it now.
Bjornsson, the man in motion. Aikman back to throw it. Calvin Martin made the reception. Not big, not fast, but he can make some plays.
And again, it's a type of thing that Troy Aikman always feels comfortable with Calvin Martin in that he knows where he's going to be. I mean, Calvin Martin comes, he works back to him, he gives him something to throw to, and Troy Aikman feels real good when he throws the ball to Calvin Martin.
And to the guy split wide to the right as well. That's Michael Irvin.
Who's only caught one pass this second half.
It was a big one. Here's Emmitt Smith, and he's trying to get it around the corner and does get enough for the first. Ken Norton pushed him out of bounds.
As one thing is, you see Chris Dahlman there. He's the starting offensive guard for the 49ers, who's played real well today. And this 49er offense on the sideline is a little frustrated because the Cowboys had the ball at the end of regulation, and now they get it in the first period of overtime.
Again, Steve Young suffered a slight concussion and has not returned. That was in the second quarter. And Elvis Gerbach has been the 49er quarterback. Here is Aikman again to Emmitt Smith, and again he hits it around the corner. A flag on the play. Smith slipped down, but a penalty marker down.
One thing, the Cowboys are having more success with their outside running plays than they are their inside. And more success with outside running plays than I can remember in a long time.
That could be because of those two
We have multiple fouls on the offense.
Very good
holding on number
defensive
48.
tackles.
Penalty is declined. Holding on number 86. That penalty is accepted 10 yards from the previous spot. Repeat the down. First down.
Bjornsson holding again.
Well, that's why he got around that corner, because Bjornsson held and Daryl Johnston held. And then Emmitt Smith was running her right in behind Moose Johnston.
Bjornsson, there was some doubt whether or not he could play.
Here's Bjornsson here, and here's Moose Johnston. So that's what you get a hold there, and you get a hold right there, and that was the corner that Emmitt Smith ran around.
Dallas been penalized 10 times for 80 yards, first down and 20.
Crowds really help defense.
Aikman will throw. Up the middle, Darrell Johnston to the 40. The Moose, even here. That familiar call. Lee Woodall made the stop.
Well, Moose Johnston's been in the league for 8 years now, so you know wherever he goes, you're going to hear something. So he's not in the backfield now. He was lined up right there as a slot. He was up in the slot or there's a wing on the left side. Here he is right here. So now you get a linebacker on him, and he's just from that position just going to run a slant against Ken Norton.
Yep.
He just beat him with quickness there. Norton looked like he was in quicksand.
Aikman gives to Emmitt Smith, and again he's chased by Dolman, and Smith skips. Maybe he didn't get the first down before he stepped out of bounds.
Emmitt Smith has run out of bounds more today than I've seen him run out of bounds in 3 years.
I agree.
I think that he's had, he's been banged around and bumped up and had so many injuries this year that he's just trying to avoid some here, and when he sees he doesn't have any more, he's just saying, I'll just get out of there and save it for another play.
In past years, he wouldn't save it. He'd have turned it up.
And sometimes in turning it up, you may find something there too. But I didn't feel that any time that he's run out of bounds that it's really hurt them today.
No. Just a little bit short.
I think what has hurt them is not getting the ball to Michael Irvin, or the good coverage on Michael Irvin that has forced Troy Aikman to do other things and go to other people in other places where he hasn't wanted to.
Well, he's had single coverage 3 or 4 times on Deion Sanders and tried to go, and the single coverage has done the trick. 3rd and inches.
And now it's interesting that in the overtime they had Kelvin Martin in there, who I really feel Troy Aikman feels more comfortable with Kelvin Martin than he does Deion Sanders.
3rd and short.
There's a guy, Ken Norton, who's won all 6 of these last 6 games. 3 when he was playing for Dallas, 3 with San Francisco.
2 tight ends. 3rd down. Aikman quarterback sneak. He didn't get much. He may not have gotten the first down, or if he did, he just barely got it.
For years, since Norv Turner was the offensive coordinator of the Cowboys, they didn't have a quarterback sneak.
I know.
And then about a month ago, they got in a short yardage situation. They needed one and didn't have it, so they put in a quarterback sneak.
They're going to measure again.
And then Barry Switzer told everyone, Ernie Zampese, the offensive coordinator, put it in. Barry Switzer, the head coach, told everyone, we have a quarterback sneak now. Troy Aikman said, how can it be a sneak when the head coach tells everyone? So there's going to be a quarterback run. Everyone knows we got it. We can't sneak anywhere if they know you got it.
Going to be close again. Yes, he did. He needed inches, and that's all he got.
That's a dangerous thing about that quarterback sneak, though, is when you have a quarterback like Troy Aikman who had concussions, or Steve Young, when you run a quarterback sneak, you have to lead with your head. The first thing that you stick in there is your head.
12-20, say 12-25 by the time they get up to the line. Left in overtime, 1st and 10 Cowboys. They're at their own 44-yard line. Darrell Johnston on the move, and Aikman back to throw. Irvin makes the catch. Drakeford fell down as a flag on the play. Irvin slipped down, Drakeford slipped down, a penalty marker down, and that could move them very close to field goal range if it's against San Francisco.
Defense number 22, 5 yards, first down.
Tyrone Drakeford got it all the way. You're going to see Michael Irvin beats him and catches the ball, and then when he goes to tackle him, he grabs his face mask.
They both lost their footing.
The wide receivers in the corners all day have been losing their footing out there. And that's why I remember when Michael Irvin first in the first quarter he slipped down, then he put on longer cleats. And his footing has been much better since he put on the longer cleats.
First down, Dallas at the 49er 39. Deion Sanders back in on offense. He split wide to the right. Bjornsson moves in motion. Aikman gets to Emmitt Smith. And Emmitt tried to take it outside and wrapped up by Lee Woodall.
The Cowboys needed about 10 more yards to get in Bonio's field goal range here. Lee Woodall makes a big defensive play there.
Emmitt Smith tried to move it outside, and Woodall recovered.
See, what I think is if you get that if they get right here to the 20-yard line, that would make a 37-yard field goal, and I think on this grass field, everyone would feel comfortable with that for the Cowboys.
Johnson slipped, and down he went. Aikman saw the blitz, got it to Bjornsson. And again, he lost his footing.
Because right now it would be about a 52-yard field goal.
52 yards, his longest.
He lost his footing, and he almost lost the ball.
Yeah. McDonald.
You know, this has been a heck of a physical game. I mean, and not only, you know, you expect linemen to be physical and, you know, and big linemen and line play and all that to be physical, but the linebackers have been physical, and the secondaries today have been very physical.
3rd and 7. Smith, the lone back behind Aikman. To Sanders on the slant. That's close to another Cowboy first down. Sanders saying it is, and so does the official. And they're close enough now.
I think every time they put Steve Israel in there, they know that they can get inside of him on a slant. And you see what Deion Sanders did? He just gave him a little fake to the outside, and then once he got inside, Troy Aikman just zipped it right in there.
Close enough for Boniola now, if they have to try it.
I would still feel comfortable. I think they would need about 8 or 10 more yards.
The footing is very unsure, this part of the field. That's Emmitt Smith, and Smith bowling over people. That looks like Emmitt Smith to the 11. 16 yards. Merton Hanks made the stop.
And they finally got inside. They haven't been able to do that all day to be able to get inside. They're going to run right in this area. See, he starts to the right, then he cuts back to the left because Mark Tuinei, 71, makes a big block there. Dolman started to come in. Tuinei just rode him and just kept riding him in. And then Emmitt Smith was able to cut right off Mark Tuinei's block.
1st and 10 at the 12. Aikman gives to Darrell Johnston. At about the 11. Barker made the stop. Boniola has made the last 30 attempts from inside the 35, and they are not waiting. Here he comes.
Well, the advantage of this is, of course, if you miss it, you don't get to kick it over again. But if anything happens, like you have a bad snap or something like that, you do still have the ball.
Dale Hellestray, the snapper, doesn't make many bad snaps.
No, but I mean, some people think that if you kick it on or try it on 2nd down or 3rd down, you don't make it, then you get another down. If you miss the field goal, then you lose all your downs.
Timeout, San Francisco. Hellestray will snap it. Jet will hold it. Boniola will kick it. 17-17, Dallas and San Francisco.
Bonio doesn't want to get anywhere near where he's going to kick it, nor his holder, nor his team. I mean, he got his whole team in one area. The whole team is there, and Bonio is off by himself.
Out of your picture.
Yeah, he's not even going to come in. Here's Bonio way up here. He's doing stretching. He's doing, because whatever these guys are going to yell at him, he doesn't want to hear. And he doesn't want to stand in that position where he has to kick it. So he gets so far away out here by himself that whatever's going on inside isn't going to affect him.
The kickers lead strange lives.
And they always carry a towel. You see Bonio has a towel with him.
But they never touch the ball.
I have no idea what he's doing with that towel.
From 29 yards out to win it for Dallas. It's over. Dallas wins in overtime. In that drive, Aikman was 5 out of 5 to 5 different receivers. Big clutch run by Emmitt Smith to set it up. Boniola from 29 yards won it.